gets up there about 12, 13, 14 away from his own goal line, and they continue on through the middle of the park now. The Gold Coast Titans, as they get up and play the ball through Campbell about 29 metres away from the line. And now they find themselves about 12 short of halfway. Going straight through the middle here, the Gold Coast at the moment. Phil Sami with his second carry of the set. And now here's Fasumala Awi about 4 metres short of halfway on the final play. So they will go short out of dummy half from Verrills to the right-hand side of Campbell. Puts the high kick up down that right channel, coming well forward to take it and comfortably is Shans Nickel Cooksdale. We've had 2 minutes of play and there's no score between the Warriors and the Gold Coast.
Starting with an early arm wrestle here, guys, and I could tell, shift to their right-hand side there, the Warriors, just to...
Almost lost the ball, and now they're away. Picked it up, Leotawa, over halfway, over the 40 and 30, still going is Leotawa. They finally, through who else but Tino, coming all the way back and bringing him down 19 away from the line. We'll stay with the play at the moment. Boyd switches to the left-hand side through the hands of Egan. They've got numbers here. Surely the Warriors. Pereira decided to come back into the inside. He had 2 players on his outside, but he takes the tackle, 10 in from the eastern touchline. Now they come through Aaron Clark. He's about 6 away from the line. The Gold Coast have scrambled pretty well here after that race away down the right-hand side by Leotawa. Now they come to the right. Boyd changes direction back on the inside, Jackson Ford, and Ford's 3 metres away from the line, adjacent to the right-hand upright. Now they come to the right. Tanner Boyd gets it away, then Nickel Cookstar. He loses the ball, regathers, but it's gone forward. Now Wyatt Raymond has found a penalty. He will come back for the Gold Coast, being, I think, maybe a play taken out in back play, all the way back about 18 metres away from the line. There's the Warriors player tackled without the ball, and they get the penalty 20 metres away from the Gold Coast line. No score after 3.
Well, I was just about to say both teams get away to a conservative start, and the Warriors shift the ball coming out of their own 20-metre area to their right-hand side. And again, that was a really good scramble by the Gold Coast there to stop that try, because I thought the Warriors were scoring out and out.
Yeah, you thought they were for sure, because they had the numbers on the left-hand side as well, didn't they, after they switched the play back. But they have taken the penalty, and they continue to attack the line here. Ford plays it. Now they go left and trying to find a way through is Fisher Harris, but they scramble to bring him down again. 3 away from the line. A lot of defending here for the Gold Coast to start. Coming out of the line beautifully and taking the tackle, Jalen de Groot in his first game of the season. That was a really important tackle that he had to make, but can they keep Halasima away? He's about 30 centimetres short. He'll get up and play the ball at dummy half is Leotawa. They go to the left-hand side, switching it now for Egan, continuing on for Clark, knocked down by Jaden Campbell, and it'll be another set here for the Warriors. This is relentless at the moment. Campbell went for the intercept, but it was knocked down, and another full set here for the Warriors. Kiana about 15 away from the line, no score.
Yeah, it looked like Jaden had to make a play at the ball because they had an overlap on that left edge there, the Warriors, but really good scramble defence there. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep holding them out here.
0467 920 222. John in Sydney just saying the sponsor had to give up their jersey because no gambling ads are allowed in New Zealand. Thanks for that update, John, but still a decent gesture to give it to a kids charity as well. Warriors are about 7 metres away from the line. They come to the right. Tanner Boyd, one off the ruck, one to the right he goes with James Fisher Harris. He's about 10 away, 9 away from the Gold Coast line. They've had plenty of sets down at this end, and the Gold Coast have held out so far. Good offload there. They continue to the right-hand side for Halasima. A couple of don't argues from Big Lecker, and he takes the tackle 2 away from the line. Wade Egan's waiting for it at dummy half. Goes to the left-hand side now towards the posts, and now Boyd gets it away. Quickly on it goes. They've got numbers left-hand side. They'll score this time. They do. Khan Pereira against his former club. His first try of the season, and the Warriors, after relentless pressure, throw it to the left-hand side through the hands of a few players, including Tuivasa-Shek. The Gold Coast just couldn't slide to their right-hand side defensively, and the Warriors go over. Khan Pereira, the scorer. Warriors 4, Gold Coast 0 after 5 minutes.
Yeah, Tanner Boyd instrumental in stopping that slide there, Brett. What happened was he just squared the line up there really well, and Rogers' last pass here, taking the winger in, just shows great poise. I love him at centre.
Yeah, mate, it's so good to see players that have done it so much across their NRL careers to come together at this Warriors side, and they're electric, this back line. You spoke about it before the game, Kiana.
Yeah, it was very good work there by the Warriors. What I was impressed with is that they didn't kind of get too excited, which they could have easily done in previous years, I think. They showed really good composure and just went through, their structure and their plays, and they come away with the points there.
0467 920 222. We had a text from someone hoping to watch the Queensland Cup game up in Cairns this afternoon, kicking off at 3 o'clock. So we'll keep you up to date with that one. Northern Pride and Sunshine Coast Falcons, no score at the moment. In the AFL, Essendon leading Gold Coast 83-77. First half of New South Wales Cup, the Raiders 36, absolutely thrashing the Storm, 36-0 at the moment. No score in the A-League between Wellington and Western Sydney. 0467 920 222. Dion, thank you for your text message. Looks like you're having a wonderful afternoon out in the sunshine. Tanner Boyd is pretty much adjacent to the eastern touchline, about a metre in. He looks to curl that one away, but he's put way too much angle on it, and it doesn't curl anywhere near as it would have needed to. It was almost like a 10-pin bowler putting it all the way to the edge of the lane and trying to curl back into the middle, but Tanner Boyd wasn't able to add the extras, so it remains 4-0 with the Warriors leading the Gold Coast Titans. I mentioned before the game that the Warriors concede 28 points in the first 10 minutes of their game so far this season. Well, that's another 4 points in the opening 10 minutes. They are the worst starters defensively in the NRL this season. And the Warriors will be delighted with that start and get use of the football again from the restart. And Ford will start things again. He may lead the Dally M, but he's behind Nathan Cleary in the ABC Player of the Year points. We're looking to pick up 3 this afternoon. No hints at Matthew and Kiana, but Jackson Ford will be hoping that he can come up with a big one again this afternoon. Egan plays the ball 29 metres away from his own line. One off the ruck left-hand side, they go Fisher Harris. He has the ball about 33 away from his own goal line in centre field. So they continue to the left-hand side, and through the middle they go through Aaron Clark. Plays the ball quickly 9 short of halfway, and this is that roll-on that the Gold Coast will be looking to stop as the Warriors are inside their half now through Capewell. Plays the ball, they go right. Tanner Boyd kicks from inside halfway, waiting for it over on the far side. Taking it well is Keanu Kinney. Gets away from the first line as well, but he can't get past Jackson Ford, and James Fisher Harris helping out as well. So Kinney will play the ball 10 away from his own goal line. And once again, the Warriors will try to keep the Gold Coast box down inside this 20-metre block as the outside backs of the Gold Coast do a bit of work through Famani. He does go on a good run, and he makes it up to about 29 metres away. Another good play here from the Gold Coast, and Curtis Moran finds himself about 11 short of halfway. So it's been a good set out of their own end here for the Gold Coast Titans. They're almost on halfway. In fact, they will play the ball right on halfway through Cooper Bay on the final play. Verrills at dummy half goes to Campbell, who kicks on that halfway line straight down the middle, and it's taken by Nickel Cookstar about 18 away from his own goal line. Crabs across the field, then takes the tackle in the middle, 23 away with 8 minutes gone, and the Warriors leading the Gold Coast 4-0 on ABC Sports NRL Saturday as the Warriors go to the left-hand side. Tuivasa Sheck almost found a way through. They spun it again. It was Alofiana Pereira who made the break, and then Tuivasa Sheck took the tackle 12 metres inside Gold Coast territory. So all of a sudden, the Warriors on the attack again. They play the ball through Nickel Cookstar. Right-hand side, Tanner Boyd keeps it alive. Short ball for Ford. Jackson Ford is brought down by a really good tackle in the end by Lachlan Ilias. They go to the right. Halasima again. He's been causing all sorts of problems. Bounces away from a few. Went through them like a turnstile, and he takes the tackle 30 centimetres away from the line. Final play for the Warriors. They lead by 4. Egan goes left for Boyd. Rubbers towards the in goal, but coming across to collect, and collecting well is Campbell, with the Warriors leading 4-0 after 9 minutes.
I love the Warriors' system of play there. They have a conservative way of playing, but the second they get a quick play the ball, everything changes. They've had 78% of the pill.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? The Gold Coast will be desperate for a penalty or a Warriors error just to try to bring that momentum back in their favour, because they've barely had the ball. Sammy plays it 30 metres away from his own goal line. They shift it to the right now as they try to come up with a play here and almost trying to find a way through. Yeah, completions both at 100%, and the Warriors, 82% of the ball is just remarkable now as the Gold Coast get to the last play. So another completed set for them. Big kick downfield, and Chance Nickel-Klukstar takes the catch about 18 away from his own goal line. He plays it in centre field, and now Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, I think first use of the football this afternoon for Dallin. He plays the ball 22 away from his own line. Boyd goes one off the ruck, left-hand side. That's a strong carry, and then taken in the tackle about 30 metres away from the line is Tower. Egan dummy half, left-hand side he goes. Fisher Harris, 10 short of halfway. They're getting a roll on through the middle again, the Warriors. Egan no-look pass to his right for Aaron Clark to halfway. Clark gets up and plays the ball on 5, I beg your pardon. So Boyd goes to the skies. It's a mountainous spiralling kick, but it's too big down to that southern end, and that might be what the Gold Coast desperately need, Kiana, to try to not only get into some good field position, but also get more use of the ball. They have a 20-metre restart.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't the best kick there by Tanner, but Keanu Kinney was interesting. He just didn't want to bar it. I wouldn't have either. It was a horrible-looking kick, and they come away with a good result there, the Titans.
Well, it certainly had the height, but it had too much depth as well, didn't it? So Gold Coast play one on the 30-metre line, and all of a sudden on play two, they're 13 short of the halfway line through Sammy. He plays the ball for Verrills. Right-hand side he goes, and now Curtis Moran backs into traffic and takes the tackle about 3 short of halfway centre field. So much better field position here for the Gold Coast Titans on play 3. They find themselves in Warriors territory as Howe takes the tackle. I think they get 6 again here, do they? I heard the referee. Yes, there's the set restart. So this is what the Gold Coast have ordered from the doctor, and they get a whole set here 31 metres away from the Warriors line. Campbell plays it. They go one off the ruck, left-hand side, Cooper by. He will take the tackle about 29 away from the Warriors line. The home side leads 4 points to 0. ABC Sport NRL Saturday. That's a bone cruncher from Tower. He absolutely whacked. Was it Kinney there? Got floored. 28 away from the line. He took his time to get to his feet. He's still on his haunches. He's in all sorts of trouble, Keanu Kinney, as Fasumala Awi plays it 20 away from the line. They'll grub it through. It bounces off a Warrior. It's played at 6 again. Another set here for the Gold Coast. Smart move with that little grubber in behind. The Warriors had to play at it, and the Gold Coast will start this set 10 away from the Warriors line. Here's Philip Sami, 3 away. Gets up quickly to play the ball. Fisher Harris just slowed him down and gives away 6 again. He was holding onto the ball as Sami tried to play it. So they're a metre away from the line now here with a full set. Moran gets up and plays the ball. Verrills is at dummy half. Right-hand side through the hands. Geez, I like the jersey, but the numbers are hard to read as they go to the right-hand side here. The Gold Coast, the flick pass out the back, ends up with Jojo Fafita, but it's great goal line defending. Chance Nickel-Klukstar and also Chanel Harris-Tavita to bundle Jojo Fafita so close to the touchline that he had to try to throw it back into the middle, gave the ball away, and the Warriors get away with that one. They lead 4-0 after 13, Matthew.
Yeah, poor poise there by the Gold Coast Titans. They had another repeat set. They're only on play 2 there. They didn't need that final flick pass. They just need to play a little bit more conservatively, just like we're seeing the Warriors do right now.
So James Fisher Harris is 32 away from the line. He goes to ground on his knee so he can get up, play it quickly. Boyd will kick on the final play on his own 30-metre line, but it is a good deep one. It's taken on the full by Kinney on his own 10-metre line, so he's recovered from that monster hit from Tower a minute or 2 ago, and he takes the tackle 30 away from the line in centre field. They come short left-hand side now for Phil Sami. He takes the tackle of 4 Warriors, 18 in from the western touchline, 12 short of halfway. So they go to the right through Ilias out of dummy half, and he gets the ball away so that getting up and playing the ball is both firm or about 5 short of halfway. Here's Cooper by now. Marcus's son is about 3 metres inside Warriors territory. Gets a quick play the ball for Verrills to scoot out of dummy half. Verrills looks up, tries to pass it to Curtis Moran, who was almost cuddling him, and the ball goes to ground, allowing the Warriors to get up and play it quickly for Chance Nickel-Klukstar over halfway. Another error from the Gold Coast when perhaps it didn't need to come. The forced pass, Tanner Boyd now for the Warriors is held up in the tackle about 35 away from the Gold Coast line. So he'll play the ball for Wade Egan. Left-hand side they'll come. That's a good fend there so far from Kurt Capel, but they hold on to him and bring him down 29 away from the line. Right-hand side for Aaron Clark now bounces away from a Gold Coast player. Fisher Harris standing passing to Ford, and Jackson Ford takes a hit up and makes a few metres before being tackled. 19 away from the Gold Coast line, 20 in from the Western touchline. Here's Fisher Harris through the middle. Tries to palm off by. He goes again and drags Fisher Harris down. 10 away from the line. Right-hand side, Boyd. Short ball for Leka Halasima. That is a great tackle by Lachlan Ilias close to the line to stop Leka Halasima. He was over for all money. Try-saving tackle on the last. Change over Gold Coast. Warriors lead 4-0 after 15, Kiana.
That was a huge effort tackle there by Lachlan Ilias. As you said, he was going over all money Halasima as the Titans get a penalty.
Yeah, they do. So this is a good piggyback coming out of their own end, Matthew.
Keanu Kenny slightly animated about getting that penalty as well, strutting his stuff there. But the Titans, when they get this possession, wow, what a tackle that was from Lachlan Ilias. I can't believe that he mowed him down that close to the line. But Keanu Kenny, they gets the penalty. They do need to take advantage of it. They've surrendered possession their last two sets. They can't afford it when they've only had 30% of the pill.
So the penalty is for the crusher from Tanner Boyd. I thought there also might have been a shoulder there, but it was for the crusher tackle. So they get the penalty 10 metres short, or 10 metres out from their own goal line here, the Gold Coast, and they're just... there is the report there. Was it Wade Egan, I think, was the shoulder charge, but the initial penalty was for the Tanner Boyd crusher. So I guess Wyatt Raymond could take his pick, but yeah, we do see Wade Egan on report for the contact from the shoulder. And now the Gold Coast find touch, and they start this set 32 metres away from their own goal line. As Verrills goes into dummy half, and Tino Fasuamala-Awi takes it up to 10 metres within halfway. He'll slowly play the ball, and he goes open side right as Verrills out of dummy half for Moran, then Campbell back on the inside, and finally taking the tackle Arama Howe about 3 metres short of halfway. 22 in from the eastern touchline. We've had 16 minutes of play. The Warriors lead 4 points to nil thanks to that try from Alofiana Khan Pereira in the 6th minute. And the Gold Coast through both Fermor have the ball now 5 inside Warriors territory. Kinney gets a good pass away to Moran, and Moran takes the tackle 37 away from the Warriors line. It's the final play, so Campbell will go to the skies. Waiting for it over on that left-hand side, coming in and taking it comfortably is Fermani, and Fermani will come back to the middle of the park and take the tackle about 30 metres away from his own goal line, 10 metres away from his own goal line, I beg your pardon, as Watene-Zelezniak takes the tackle about 18 away. As Mitch Barnett prepares to get himself into the action, and the New Zealand Warriors going to make that early change. Mitch Barnett this week securing his path to Brisbane in 2026. You might have noticed the audio there. We've just momentarily lost the audio from New Zealand, but we still have vision, which is good news as they go to the left-hand side through Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and he gets up and plays the ball about 35 metres away from his own line. Left-hand side for Fisher Harris. Fisher Harris is 9 away from the halfway line, and he'll play the ball. They'll come back open side right for Tanner Boyd to kick downfield once again. It's again to the left-hand side of Philip Sami, and he takes the catch on his own 20-metre line and returns it up over the 30. So Sami will start this set just over the 30-metre line, 15 in from the western touchline. Kinney gets an offload going to ground. He got the basketball pass away as he was falling over. The Gold Coast have it 10 short of halfway as they go open side right now, one off the ruck. Good collision there as Faimani goes to ground. He'll get up slowly and play the ball 2 short of halfway. Right-hand side, they go through the hands of Moran, ends up with Cooper By. Gets the pass away for Campbell. It bobbled off the shoulder, but he regathered. Still going Campbell over the 20. There's no support though. He looked to pass, but the Warriors players finally drag him down about 10 metres away from the line. I thought he was going to go all the way and score there, but he wasn't able to. Now they go close to the line, trying to reach out, and celebrating the try is for the Gold Coast Titans. Did he get the ball down? I'm not sure. It was Curtis Moran who reaches out from about 2 metres out, Matthew, one-armed, and White Raymond says we have no try.
Well, he put his hand up and celebrated, but they've just stopped it as they always do. They're probably looking for something else, like a high contact here.
Yeah, there is.
There's high contact before he gets the ball down. Reaches out, but we can't see the reaching out part. And, he's just short.
Yeah. So you'd assume that they will come back for a Gold Coast penalty.
Player, yes,
grounded the ball short.
Liam Kennedy in the bunker. LK.
He then knocks the ball on. Decision made.
Okay, so they may not come back for the high contact from Aaron Clark.
No, inconsequential high contact, they're saying. I tell you what, though, that lead-up play from Lachlan Ilias there, I'm just perplexed how he hasn't been recognised earlier. His talent in this game has just been amazing. What about Jaden Campbell's running game today? Hasn't that made a difference?
Yeah, the way that he was put through that gap and he was looking for support there. The no-look pass there from Ilias to put Moran through on the angle.
That is close.
Yeah, I'm stunned that they haven't come back for a penalty for the high shot, to be honest. Aaron Clark gets him across the jaw. Are they saying it bounced off the ball? I'm not sure, but Roger Tuivasa-Sheck almost makes a break. He gets up to the 30-metre line after the scrum on their own 10-metre. He'll play the ball. Egan wants them to get off quicker. You're right. Yeah, Lachlan Ilias has found his feet on the Gold Coast, hasn't he, after a couple of tough seasons? He actually, we've lost the ball, Wade Egan. Is he going to say it's stripped? The Gold Coast is celebrating, 12 short of the halfway line. Egan's sort of, I think he's shaking his head. He's not going to go for the captain's challenge here. I think it's just a loose carry, Keanu. There's a boot. Was there a boot that was in there, I think, as he was getting up to play the ball, but it definitely looked like a loose carry.
Loose carry for sure. There was a little bit of a hand in there, but it didn't have too much of a help. I think that was just all Wade Egan, which he'll be very disappointed with.
That was kind of, he got up and made a not guilty plea, but then admitted, no, I'm guilty.
That's the good thing about the challenge, isn't it? It's like they can't pull the wool over eyes as much as they would have liked to in the past. That's for sure. Yeah, Lachlan Ilias actually broke his leg against the Warriors playing for South Sydney New South Wales Cup a couple of years ago and struggled to come back. He went to the Dragons, and of course he was down the pecking order for a variety of reasons, but now he has the opportunity to help this Gold Coast attack. It's 15 metres away from the Warriors line. Great ball over the top from Keaney on the right-hand side looking for Famani. He's a big body, and 3-4 Warriors players have to wrap him up. 8 metres short of the line and 2 in from the eastern touchline. They come back to the left. Campbell gets it away, still going through Ilias. Short ball again for Beau Fermor, and Fermor is 9 away from the line. I thought he put through Fermor through another gap there. Here's Ilias going himself now. He runs out of space to work it, so he changes direction, passes for Campbell. It's not backward from the Warriors into the in goal, but they have to clean up over the dead ball line, forcing a goal line dropout. It was good eyes up footy there from Campbell, and it'll be 6 again, you would think, if they get the ball back from the goal line dropout. Warriors 4, Gold Coast 0. We've had a quarter of the game gone.
I'm not sure it was good eyes up footy. I questioned it first, but then it went off into the pinball machine. and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, trying to catch the ball, actually knocked it in the in goal for him. So fortunate play there from Jaden Campbell. I'm going to put that down.
It's the short dropout that has gone 10. It's come off Keanu Kinney, and it's been touched by Jojo Fafita in an offside position.
It's off the Titans' foot into an offside player.
Yeah, Keanu Kinney played at the ball, and then Jojo Fafita was in front of him as he picked the ball up. White Rain was straight onto that one. Unfortunate for the Gold Coast, because they looked like they were going to get the ball back from the short restart, but the Warriors get the penalty 10 away from their own goal line.
Well, you can't argue with that. That is a perfectly weighted dropout. And what was Keanu Kinney saying? No, we wanted them to take that upstairs. That's just dead set offside.
Pretty black and white, isn't it? As the Warriors roll up the field, they find touch 10 metres short of the halfway line. Dimitri Vaimonga is on the park for them, as well as Aaron Clark gets a rest after 21 and a half minutes of work here on ABC Sports. NRL Saturday with Kiana Takarangi, Matthew Elliott. I'm Glenn Lauder. Great to have your company on 0467 920 222 is the text line number if you want to get in touch. As Mitch Barnett gets up and plays the ball 7 metres inside Gold Coast territory, and Vaimunga wastes absolutely no time in making his presence felt, going straight over the top there as he makes 5 or 6 metres. And now Jackson Ford, another strong carry towards the 20-metre line. They haven't been down this end for a while, the Warriors. Egan's at dummy half, comes left again for Vaimunga. They might get 6 again here, the Warriors. They do. It's another full set, so that's play 1. Vaimunga plays it 13 away from the line. Jackson Ford looks for an offload, takes the tackle of Ilias and Fermor 3 away from the line. Plays the ball for Egan. They go short to Halasima. He tries to find a way through, but 4 Gold Coast players are in his path. So he held up in the tackle and plays it for Egan. Left-hand side they come for Boyd, and wide first receiver. Out the back for Mitch Barnett. He can't get the ball away. And Tino Fasuamala-Awi goes down low. Verrills up top to complete the tackle. Egan left out a dummy half. Boyd, short ball, quick hands, left-hand side. Pereira for a double. Great athleticism. Dives over the top, puts the ball down in the corner, scores the try. Similar to the first one. Alofiana Pereira has a double against his former club. He's now scoring once again and a try game in the NRL, and it is the Warriors 8 leading the Gold Coast 0 with 16:40 to go in the first half and a kick to come.
First of all, let me recognise Mitch Barnett there. Like, they can't put him to ground. Tino came in and tried to cut him in half, held his feet, got a quick play the ball, and I've got to say, Harris-Tavita's play there on that left-hand side, just sublime. And Roger, again, what about that for a catch and pass?
Well, Kiana, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is setting up for fun out on the left-hand side. These hands are so quick.
Yeah, silky skills there by the left edge of the Warriors team. It's something that they practice all the time, but they're just getting it right. It's a hard skill to execute, and they're just getting it right. But you kind of feel sorry for the Titans. They did so well. You know, they had the momentum, but you can just see how quickly it shifts. The Warriors get down, they get a set restart, and they fire in the line again.
What about that put down?
The landing is...
Sorry, listeners, I didn't describe it. If I could describe it, it would be like this. Because that was just insane.
Xavier Coates scored like that against the Warriors last year. It was almost as good as that, getting 1.5 meters off the ground. They look like Superman in the air. It's just, these wingers are incredible.
And the only part of his body that was in the field was his hand, putting the ball down around the corner post.
So, I think Robbie Ross sort of started it for Newcastle about 15 or 20 years ago, but these guys are just taking it to the next, and I know they train so hard for it as well. Tanner Boyd from the touchline makes no mistake. He's got his radar on track, so it's 10 points to 0. The Warriors leading the Gold Coast with 15 to go in the first half. Around the grounds in the AFL, Gold Coast 107 leading Essendon 89. In the Queensland Cup, it's 6-all between the Pride and the Falcons in Cairns in the first half. Second half, New South Wales Cup, the Raiders leading the Storm 36-0 and Souths leading the Dragons 4 points to 0. Wellington has scored against Western Sydney. They lead 1-0 in the A-League men's competition. 0467 920 222. Hi guys, enjoying the call from Castle Hill. Tanner Boyd has family links with a former Panthers great player. Any idea? His dad is Shane Boyd, who used to play for the Panthers. Thank you, Steve. Go the Wars, listening to the call at North Wollongong Pub while watching on the big screen. Oh, thanks, Louis. Hope you've got us on the audio there. Now, Leka Halasima has lost the ball here backwards, but the tackle was already completed. So the referee, Wyatt Raymond, has asked him to go back and replay it. So the Warriors may be getting away with one there. A simultaneous offload, I think it was. Now they come to the left-hand side, and finally, can they drag down Kurt Capel? No, they can't. He gets an offload as well. And Harris-Tavita keeps it alive left-hand side to Tuivasa-Sheck. And Tuivasa-Sheck finally takes the tackle on play 3 on the halfway line. Now they come right. It bounces. Vaimunga has to go behind him and pick it up. So Vaimunga straightens, and now he's held up in the tackle by Tino Fasuamala-Awi, about 8 inside Gold Coast territory. Here's Mitch Barnett going straight over the top of Mo Fotuaika. You don't see that every day. Left-hand side, they go shanked off the boot there from Harris-Tavita, but it's batted backwards by Pereira, picked up by Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, put on the toe towards the in goal. The Gold Coast are desperately willing it over the dead ball line. It does go over the dead ball line. Mitch Barnett cleans Beau Fermor up without the ball. So instead of coming for a 20-metre restart, White Raymond is giving a penalty on the 10-metre line for that push for Mitch Barnett on Beau Fermor, which does look pretty dangerous when you look at it, Matthew.
Yeah, Mitch Barnett, though, dead set in his rehab, I think they've told him to drink a cup of stainless steel every day. He's just like knocking people out of the way left, right and centre.
And Mo Fotuaika is one of the biggest units in the NRL as well. He's like a brick wall.
It hurt him, seriously.
It's like a crash test dummy. Left-hand side they go. Here is Big Mo. He takes the tackle on the 32-metre... Oh, no. I've almost done a Luke Lewis there. 32 metres away from the line. Left-hand side they come. Tino Fa'asuamala. Oh, he gets the ball away. And 10 short of halfway, the Gold Coast Titans are held up in the tackle with 13 minutes to go in the first half, trailing 10-0 with both tries coming through Alofiana Pereira. 3 metres inside Warriors territory. Verrills plays the ball for Ilias. Right-hand side for Keanu Kinney. That's a forward pass from Campbell, and it is picked up by the referee and his touch judges. The Gold Coast giving that one away. The Warriors will get the scrum feed. 3 short of the halfway line. 13 to go first half. Warriors 10, Gold Coast 0.
Well, it's not far from the NFL season, so, just a little bit of getting our listeners ready for that, because that was a terrible pass from Campbell, and he's had a really good start to the game, both defensively and in attack, but that was ordinary.
Speaking of NFL, I have it on good authority that 2 of our regular commentators are regularly on the phone to our boss of sport, Tim Verrills, trying to get in on the action between the Rams and the 49ers in Melbourne. Dean Hallertau and Michael Carianis both desperately hoping to be on the commentary team if the ABC calls it.
Well, we need a big team because they've got huge. I'll just do the special teams.
I was going to say I'll do kicker. Yeah.
I'll do something too, guys. Put me in there.
Tim, put us all on the plane. As the Warriors have the ball 30 metres, 35 away from the Gold Coast line. Right-hand side, Valmanga. He goes into traffic and then takes the tackle 29 away centre field. Will play the ball for Egan. Looks to pass right. Does pass right. And Mitch Barnett will take the tackle 20 metres away from the Gold Coast line. Egan, left-hand side, Valmanga. Harris-Tavita will grub it towards the in goal, but it's really well done by Fomani to get back there. Had to make a play at it because it bounced kindly, so he had to take the catch with a couple of Warriors bearing down on him, and he goes over the dead ball line, giving away a goal line dropout. The Warriors 10, leading the Gold Coast 0. Kiana, there's 11 and a half to go in the first half.
Yeah, really well weighted kick there by Chanel Harris-Tavita. They look dangerous every time they come down the left edge, so more ball that side, I say, for the Waz.
Another short goal line dropout, batted back by Valmanga and picked up by Hallertavita. So the Warriors get it 11 short of the Gold Coast line. Can they get more points here? Egan one off the ruck, left-hand side. Barnett looks for an offload, but the ball is wrapped up, so he takes the tackle 8 away from the line. Egan left, Boyd back on the inside, switch of play for Ford. And Jackson Ford held up in the tackle by Fotuaika and one other. 3 short of the halfway line. Good ball back on the inside from Egan out of dummy half of Vaimanga, and Vaimanga is only 10 centimetres away from the line. The Gold Coast had to react very quickly to that. Egan, left-hand side, Boyd, quick hands, bounces, Harris-Tavita, dummies, goes himself straight into the path of Mo Fotuaika, but he's still going, and he loses the ball over the goal line as he tries to get it down. So it's picked up by the Gold Coast, and they can come away from their own line, but White Raymond is going to bring a halt to play.
4 coming into 5 for
just going to have a look at this grounding.
0 for Titans. Have a no try, just confirm it's lost in the field of play.
Yeah, almost certain there's no grounding there, but maybe if it's lost over the goal line, they can come out for a 20-metre restart.
Well, what about the contact leading into that? I don't know who he ran into.
Mo, again.
Oh, well, he got up where I dare say he'll be going for a visit, and as we see this, we can't really get a clear look at the ball getting placed. Oh my goodness, it's a white close. Oh,
he gets it down. He gets it down. This could be a try to Harris-Tavita.
If you have any available angles to see if the ball is on the goal line or in the field of play.
This angle might tell us here from the touchline. That's a try.
Wow.
Chanel Harris-Tavita has just steamrolled Mo Fotuaika, and then with 4 players around him, gets around off his back onto his elbow and gets the ball down. That is remarkable try scoring from Harris-Tavita.
Well, he shows great spatial awareness, doesn't he, and understanding of where he needed to get the ball, because just being able to get that ball down in the last second.
Angles.
Well, don't do us to us, LK. Don't do it to us, LK.
It's on the line.
I can't see how this is not a try. The angle from the touchline.
As you can see here, the ball is touching the try line.
Correct.
This is a try. Decision made.
LK's not even in New Zealand, so we can't blame the time difference. That'd be a head in.
I was starting to get a little concerned.
Well, so was I.
Because it's not like me to get things wrong once. So, yeah, but again, that was just the cumulative effect. And I've got to say, something that the Gold Coast need to discuss at half-time is there's so many Warriors players holding their feet to play the ball rather than having to get up off the ground. And I know it's a subtle thing, but it makes a big difference, definitely cumulatively. There's no doubt about it.
James Fisher-Harris has done it a couple of times, getting down to the knee and being able to get that quick play the ball as well. But you've got to admire the strength from the 5'8" against the front rower, Kiana.
It's huge, and I think he had a big shot on, was it King last week against the Storm? So he's fired up, he's taken all the big boys, but Fotuaika, I reckon he's going to the, he's going off for sure for HIA after that hit as well.
Yeah, he's copped a couple, hasn't he? Which you don't expect. Tanner Boyd is now 20 in from the eastern touchline. Chanel Harris-Tavita's 3rd try of the season. Double against the Roosters. Boyd makes no mistake. That was back in round 1, that double. And missed that Canberra game a couple of weeks ago, but he was back to his best last week, Chanel Harris-Tavita, and he gets a try again this afternoon, Matthew.
Yeah, it's just the subtleties of the game. I really believe that Titans are staying in this contest, but when you look at a completion rate of 94% versus 71, you get to understand why the scoreline is. They're not being dominated physically or even skill-wise. It's that energy thing that I talked about at the start of the game. You just can't hold the team out, particularly with the quality of the Warriors, for that long.
Thanks to Ants from Leven across the ditch. Thanks, Peter Oren Park. Thank you, Greg on the Murray River. Says shout out to the Undulla man in Queensland. Go the Titans. He's listening from South Australia. Murray from Untung and the 3 Kelpies are loving the call up the wires. Thank you, Murray and the Dogs, as the Warriors have the ball 21 away from their own line. Jackson Ford has it on play 3, 30 metres away from his own goal line in centre field. In the first set after points, Egan's at dummy half, left-hand side Capewell, and Kurt Capewell has Verrill's arm around his neck and then takes the tackle about 7 metres away from the halfway line. Right-hand side now, Harris-Tavita, I beg your pardon, Charles Nickel-Kluxter on the charge. Another game with plenty of double-barrelled surnames, this one, and Boyd goes high in the air. I think the record's 8 we've come up with on grandstand. What a take that is. But he could have landed really badly on his back as Boyd put the high kick up. It's Leka Halasima. He's okay. He's back on his feet. I thought that one could have been nasty. Boyd put a really high kick up. Leka Halasima came flying through, then landed straight on his back and stayed down momentarily, Matthew. But what a catch to pickpocket Keanu Kinney.
Yeah, I think he just had an awkward, wasn't his head. I thought it was a head issue hitting the ground, but he just had a hyperextension of his back.
Yeah, he almost hyperextended over the top, over the top of his own leg.
Yeah, Bailey Simonson-like, right?
Yeah.
He's okay, but what about him this half, Halasima? He's an absolute weapon, both in attack and defence, and now he's jumping, catching high balls.
Yeah, it's remarkable. He is such a handful, isn't he? And, you know, having the ball skills of outside back almost in that second row position, and now the Warriors will have to do some defending because the Gold Coast have it inside Warriors territory, and Fasu Malamawi is met in a pretty strong tackle. 37 away from the line. Right-hand side they come. The ball goes high up in the air out of Campbell's boot, and it's waited for on that left-hand side, but not taken by Khan Pereira. So the Gold Coast get it back here. They still don't get 6 again because Khan Pereira obviously didn't touch it, so they were throwing it around, and then it was dived on by Mitch Barnett to save the blushes of the Warriors as Khan Pereira went high in the air and went without it and the Gold Coast were trying to throw it around, try to come up with something, and Barnett was the hero for the Warriors. So they had the ball 30 away from their own line through Watene-Zelezniak. The Warriors leading 16 points to 0. 6:50 to go in the first half. Here's Barnett again, dummying going himself, taking the tackle 11 short of halfway. Waiting for it at dummy half is Egan. He'll come left short out of dummy half for Ford. Ford bounces away from a couple and then takes the tackle of Fasumala Awi about 15 or 5 inside Gold Coast territory. Left-hand side, Egan. Now back on the inside from Harris-Tavita to Roger Tuivasa-Shet. Gets the offload away, standing in the tackle for Egan. Back on the inside for Ford. Ford is looking for options, goes to ground, but he was only on one knee, so he gets up, goes again, and then he takes the tackle 27 away from the line centre field. Final play for the Warriors. Boyd goes to the skies. They're coming through on the Warriors' right side again. It's a good take by Phil Sami in the field of play, and then he's dragged into the in goal, so it'll be a goal line dropout. Sami didn't really have much protection there. He was facing his own in goal, and the Warriors players were able to push him in the in goal and force a goal line dropout. Warriors 16, Gold Coast 0, 6 to go, first half.
We're starting to see the cumulative effect, aren't we, of this possession, and particularly with 5 minutes to go, how many points have we seen scored in the NRL this year at this time of the game. So this is a really important dropout.
It goes 40 metres, taken on the fly by Boyd and returned by Mitch Barnett. So he'll start this set for the Warriors 25 away from the Gold Coast line. Once again, held up in the tackle. They can't get the Warriors to ground, and Jackson Ford gets held up again, so he keeps his feet to get the quick play of the ball. 13 away from the line, right-hand side for Barnett. Boyd out the back. Nickel Klugstad, quick hands for Watene-Zelezniak, who flies and scores. He might be 30, but he's doing it like the young guns as well. Who got higher, Khan Pereira or Watene-Zelezniak? It's a wonderful finish. It was an important goal line dropout for the Gold Coast. They didn't make it pay, and the Warriors lead 20 points to 0 with a kick to come and less than 5 to go in the first half, Kiana.
We've given the left edge of the Warriors a huge rap, but the right side of the Warriors have just said, hey, we can do this too. And Dallin Watene-Zelezniak in the corner, I reckon he's jumped a centimetre higher than Khan Pereira, maybe. Very impressive put down though.
Yeah.
I thought that was more a low trajectory dive, that one.
Fine, you're right.
Sparrow.
He's not happy about it though.
He's delighted, isn't he? He had plenty of space as well there, Dallin. They just didn't slide across, did they, Matthew, in defence there, the Gold Coast, but it was quick hands as well from the Warriors.
But you picked it up, Glenn. How many times have they put a player to ground in that set? You can't afford, particularly in your own 20, just to let players hold their feet continually. It just allows the Warriors that extra second they need. And again, that finish. Wingers these days, insane. Dallin, he's up there with the best of them. And he just hated every second of that dive in the air.
Yeah, didn't he? What?
And you could tell how upset he was with himself not being the highest, the way he celebrated afterwards.
There wasn't even anyone near him, really. He didn't even need to dive, but really, really good to watch.
So he keeps touch with, well, not the try-scoring leader, Tom Jenkins, but the rest of the pack, Dom Young and Suafalongo on 9, and now Dallin Watene-Zelezniak has 8 to start the season, a double against Melbourne, then a hat-trick against Cronulla. That's his 6th try in his last 3 games for Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Wonderful try-scoring record over his career. Tanner Boyd from the touchline. He's had his previous attempts from the left-hand side, this one from the right-hand side. So he needs to readjust the radar. 3.5 to go first half. He moves in and strikes this one and just slices it away. It's not a great attempt. 20 points to 0. The Warriors lead the Gold Coast.
Maybe that also a bit of an indication of where the breeze is coming from there at Mount Smart, because that ball got blown severely. But I'll tell you what else, just looking at the crowd there, I thought it was a little bit sparse at the beginning of the game. They might have been at some of those sports drinks places around that area and got in there a little bit late.
I certainly can see one fan that maybe onto the sports drinks nice and early. But yeah, it's a good crowd, and there's always a really strong wind. Matthew, you'd know probably better than most about the wind in Auckland.
Yeah, well, definitely, and it tends to come down from that far end of the field. I'm not going to say north or south because my memory's just not that good, but I'm pretty sure it's the south.
The south? Yeah. I think you're right there, Matthew, as Valmunga plays the ball 15 away from his own goal line, and that's another strong run from Leka Halasima again. Quickly in the AFL, Gold Coast leading Essendon 108 to 101 in the final quarter, so a really good game there between those two sides. I'm sure Michael Carianis will be delighted with that. And the Sunshine Coast Falcons are leading the Northern Pride 10-6 up in Cairns in the first half of that Queensland Cup game. But the Warriors have the ball 8 short of halfway in centre field through Ford. Left-hand side, one off the ruck through Nickel Clickstar into Gold Coast territory. There's a Gold Coast player staying down, Arama Howe. Might have been a boot issue rather than an injury as they go to the skies through Harris-Tavita, and taking the catch is Kinney 10 metres away from his own line. It is a great chase from Roger Tuivasa-Sheck as well, instantaneously taking Kinney as Kinney collected the ball, and the Warriors will be able to keep the Gold Coast box down this end again. They're quick off the line. They just look a little bit more up for this one, don't they, the Warriors? They lead 20 points to nil with 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Gold Coast have had a couple of sights at the Warriors line, but nowhere near enough. Phil Sami will play the ball 28 away from his own goal line. Right-hand side they go, and they have the ball through Fasuma La'awi about 11 away from halfway. Verrills inside 40, Campbell kicks, but it's a fairly straight one and is taken comfortably 20 away from his own goal line. Chance Nickel Cookster, and he runs back into the chasing pack where he'll take the tackle just short of the 30-metre line. Warriors 20, Gold Coast nil, a minute 40 to go first half.
Well, I ask you, Keanu, you play footy. If you've only, in 40 minutes of footy, you've only had 40% of possession, how are you feeling out there?
You're tired because you're defending a lot.
Well, your eyes are working because that's how the Gold Coast look now, don't they? They look like they're very vulnerable, even though there's only a minute 30 to go. This is an important set for them.
Here's Mitch Barnett up over halfway. I like the way you said, Keanu, you've played footy. Matthew, she has. She never played it in torpedoes, though.
She's got a mullet, though.
So Leka! He's been hit off the ball, but Tanner Boyd had it. That was a monster shot on Leka. They'll get a penalty here, the Warriors. I don't think Lachlan Ilias knew much about him, but Leka was running straight at the line as a bit of a decoy player, and Lockie Ilias fell for it. Leka goes to ground, and the Warriors get the penalty with a minute to go in the first half, Matthew.
It'd be interesting to see what they do there. Halasima, you know what he should have on it? They should take the sponsor off his shirt and just ouch coming your way. Because every collision that he's in, people just go flying everywhere.
Taking the two, leading 20-0 with 40 seconds to go first half. Do you just try to put the foot on the throat?
No, I'm probably sitting in the coach's box being conservative and saying, I'll go for 22-0 at halftime.
Yeah. I'm sitting in the fans box, I think, Kiana.
I was in the fans box too. I was like, come on, give us another try.
Yeah. Anyway.
Can we do a half a coach? You're a fullback.
Half a coach.
Well, that's what fullbacks are, aren't they?
Matthew, you'll be very happy that they've listened to the coach, and they are taking the two here, the Warriors. They're letting the clock wind down. 35 metres out is Tanner Boyd. What if they don't? Going to the break 22-0. What if they miss the kick and it's all for nothing?
Well, they've got a breath, so half-time's got a little longer than they normally would.
Minute extra as Boyd, 22 in from the western touchline, 35 out from goal, strikes it. The touch judges put their flags up. It is 22 points to nil. The Wars fans are up and about in Auckland, and it is the New Zealand Warriors who have kept the Gold Coast scoreless in the first half. A really impressive opening 40 minutes from the home side. They lead 22 points to nil at half time with dominant displays of statistics across the park, Matthew.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is when you look at this, there's 80 difference in tackles made. So my maths isn't that good, but if you divide that by 6, that's a fair bit. Then you add to the fact that the Titans have missed 35 tackles, the Warriors have missed 10. I don't need to say anything else.
Yeah.
That describes what we just witnessed, right?
I think the missed tackles is almost more damning than the tackles made. They're made 184 to 127, which is a lot, but to miss 3 times the amount of tackles, Kiana, that's obviously a big worry for the Gold Coast as well.
Yeah, it is, and you can just see in the way the Warriors are playing. They're playing with a lot of momentum. They've got a lot of effort. They're strong in their effort areas. Their kick chase, diving on the loose ball, which you saw Mitch Barnett do. Just they're all over them, to be honest. And the Titans are going to have to start moving the ball around and holding onto the ball, I guess, because they're just not in this game at all at the moment.
More than 60% of the ball, 95% completions compared to 70 as well, Matthew.
I need a hand. How does a middle forward, Jackson Ford, carry the ball for 155 metres in a half a footy?
He's on for 300.
How do you explain that? Like, that explains to me why he's at the top of the,
Dally M.
the Dally M
and the
Awards.
ABC Player of the Year.
He's just there continually, and it's not like they're inane carries that he's just getting the ball just to pump into the line. He's beating tackles. He's getting second phase play off him. So good to see.
Yeah, Mitch Barnett, the next best with 104. And no Gold Coast players gone anywhere near 100. Phil Sami, the best with 87. Their best forward, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, has made 40 metres. 62% of the ball, 95% completions, 70% for the Gold Coast. Tries to Alofiana Pereira, a double in 22 minutes. Then Chanel Harris-Tavita and Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Tanner Boyd has 3 from 5. Around the grounds in the AFL, Gold Coast 116, Essendon 109 in the final quarter. New South Wales Cup, the Raiders 48, leading Melbourne 12, and South Sydney leading the Dragons 16 points to 6. In the Queensland Cup, first half, the Sunshine Coast Falcons starting to run away from the Pride, 22 points to 6 in the opening half, and the Hunters lead Ipswich 10-0. 1-1 in the A-League men's competition so far between Wellington and Western Sydney in the first half. Thank you for your text messages on 0467920222. Icarus in Atherton stepped out and missed the first try scorer. Sorry, I didn't get to that text earlier. Icarus, if you have missed it, Alofiana Pereira scored the first 2. In Adelaide, listening on Rapid while watching the telly here for my wife's conference, but a big day of watching footy. Thank you for that. Monsignor Elliott, taxpayer waste to go and broadcast the NFL. Don't say that, Cody. Wouldn't be a waste for us. Would the Padre take up interim, or should I ask this one at the Red VFRs, Mitch, in the Highlands?
No. Well, look, it's been a while since I've coached, so I think there's other people there that really need to be considered.
Hi, team, and the Book King, Matty. At least that the Titans are trying, but the Warriors look tough, says Ballina Bronco. Indeed. Enjoying Steamfest at Maitland. Thank you, Alex, the train guard from Woodbury. Yeah, I saw one of the steam trains going up to Steamfest yesterday. My little fella was very excited. Mark from Morayfield saying Warriors 50, Gold Coast 0, says heaps about Para. Oh, that's his prediction. Listening from in the US, not sure you guys got the American Football Broadcast Crew breakdown right, but I'm loving the call of the Rugby League. Thank you very much. We'll try. There's people in our team that know a lot about NFL, and I'm not one of them. The Gear Steward says it's an absolute warathon with Matt in Kingswood. Thank you for yours. And did you say Dragons and South in New South Wales Cup? Yes, we did. We might hear a bit of an update from what's going on out at Stadium Australia over the next few minutes, because we'll head there for a preview of the NRL game at 5:30 between South Sydney and the Dragons with Andrew Moore, Luke Lewis, and Michael Carianis, unless you can get out there quickly.
I'm surprised Louis not at the Steamfest.
It is 22 points to 0. The Warriors leading the Gold Coast at half-time. Let's get the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. Maritime tracking data shows little evidence of ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz after Iran announced it was reopening the vital waterway. Ali Crew reports.
Iran says the waterway is open to commercial vessels as the truce between Israel and Lebanon appears to hold. US President Donald Trump welcomed the move, but says the American blockade on Iranian ships will remain in force until a final agreement is signed. Reacting on social media, the Speaker of Iran's Parliament threatened to reverse the reopening if the US blockade isn't lifted. Mr. Trump also says Iran has agreed to work with the US to recover the country's enriched uranium.
We're going to go in together with Iran, we're going to get it, and we're going to take it back home to the USA.
But a spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry says the uranium would not be transported anywhere, and the issue hasn't even been raised in negotiations.
The Prime Minister says there will be a second meeting between world leaders in London next week to discuss joint efforts to protect the Strait of Hormuz. Samantha Dick has more.
During last night's virtual meeting with nearly 50 world leaders, Anthony Albanese and others expressed cautious optimism that a ceasefire in Lebanon will hold and that the Strait of Hormuz will remain open to commercial shipping vessels. The Prime Minister says he did not commit to sending military assets to protect the strait at this stage.
Australia obviously is a long way away from the strait compared with European nations.
Mr Albanese says his government will consider any requests at next week's meeting in London.
The Energy Minister has announced that the government's lower petrol standard will be extended until September. The change was brought in last month to help bolster petrol reserves by increasing the percentage of sulphur. In his weekly briefing, Chris Bowen's also announced Australia now has 46 days worth of petrol in reserve and that 61 fuel ships are on their way. The Victorian government says its measures to stamp out violent crimes are working, despite a machete attack targeting a teenage boy at Oakley in Melbourne's southeast. The 18-year-old was assaulted at Eaton Mall last night after being confronted by a large group of masked offenders brandishing 2 machetes. Police say they're treating it as a targeted attack. Victorian Police Minister Anthony Carbines says last night's incident is deeply distressing and horrific, but insists strategies to reduce edged weapons in the community are working.
The machete ban saw some 18,000 edged weapons surrendered that aren't available for people to use to commit crimes. Victorians participated and supported that amnesty. We've then also increased powers for Victoria Police to stop and search people in the community without a warrant.
2 people have been arrested following 2 shootings in Sydney's southwest this morning. Police were called to a Maryland's address shortly before 8 o'clock in the morning after reports of gunshots. They were then called to a home at Guildford moments later with similar reports. The Queensland opposition has announced their candidate for the Stafford by-election. The poll follows the death of independent MP Jimmy Sullivan earlier this month. Labor will endorse Luke Richmond for the seat. Mr Richmond says he's a long-time North Brisbane resident and will campaign for greater housing affordability and an expansion to the Prince Charles Hospital.
The LNP government care more about how things look than how they actually are, which is why this Stafford by-election is such an important opportunity for Stafford locals to send the LNP a message. Less talk, more action.
Brazilian basketball legend Oscar Schmidt has died at the age of 68 after fighting a brain tumour for the past 15 years. Here's the BBC's Paul Moss.
Brazil is not exactly short of sporting heroes, but Oscar Schmidt held a special place in the country's heart. Firstly, there was the sheer longevity of his career, which took in 5 consecutive Olympic Games. That in turn enabled Schmidt to become the Olympics' highest ever basketball scorer, with more than 1,000 points to his name. But there was also the fact that he was selected by a US team, the New Jersey Nets, but declined to take up the opportunity so that he could continue to play for the Brazilian national side.
And it's been confirmed the price of train tickets for football fans travelling from New York City to the stadium hosting the World Cup final this year will cost more than $200. The cost has sparked claims of price gouging, with the fare to the venue in New Jersey an 11-fold increase to the regular price. The United States had promised to provide free transit for fans in its bid for the World Cup, as in previous games in Qatar and in Russia. ABC News. You can get more news at any time. Head to the ABC Listen website.
Okay, ready?
Little listeners have a new space to get all their favourite podcasts, like exclusive new episodes of Bluey Listen Along.
Let's dance to celebrate!
Create a kids profile today by heading to the Kids tab on the ABC Listen app.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Goes to the left-hand side now towards the posts, and now Boyd gets it away. Quickly on it goes. They've got numbers left-hand side. They'll score this time. They do. Khan Pereira against his former club. His first try of the season. Boyd, short ball, quick hands, left-hand side. Khan Pereira for a double. Great athleticism. Dives over the top. Puts the ball down in the corner. Scores the try. Similar to the first one. Alofiana Khan Pereira has a double against his former club. Harris-Tavita dummies, goes himself straight into the path of Mo Fotuaika, but he's still going, and he loses the ball over the goal line as he tries to get it down. Wyatt Raymond is going to have a look at this grounding. That's a try.
Wow.
Chanel Harris-Tavita has just steamrolled Mo Fotuaika, and then with 4 players around him, gets around off his back, onto his elbow, and gets the ball down. 13 away from the line, right-hand side for Barnett. Boyd out the back. Nickel Cookster, quick hands for Watene-Zelezniak, who flies and scores. He might be 30, but he's doing it like the young guns as well.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
Yeah, a first half shutout. The New Zealand Warriors leading 22 points to nil over the Gold Coast at half time. The first of 3 games on NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport, the second of which is at Stadium Australia. The Rabbitohs at home to the Dragons. There for us, Michael Carianis, Luke Lewis and Andrew Moore. G'day, Andrew.
Hey, Glenn, you're looking forward to it. Perfect conditions here at Stadium Australia. Crowd just starting to build in the New South Wales Cup. It's half time. South 16 leading St George Illawarra 12. I would have an update to see there's team changes, but someone's got my mobile phone. For South Sydney and St George Illawarra, the Dragons have lost 10 games in a row, as we know. South have won 3 of their last 4 against St George Illawarra, and the king of this place, Alex Johnston, plays his 100th NRL game at Stadium Australia. Luke Lewis, good afternoon to you once again. I would not be surprised to see AJ score again here. He owns the joint.
Yeah, absolutely not. Every time he plays, he kills it. He scores tries for fun here at this beautiful stadium. But I can't wait for this game this afternoon. I don't know how the Dragons are going to go. They're surely getting closer to a win, but they've got to come up and they've got to turn up with effort tonight. And the effort is the small 1%ers, Andrew. The kick chasers, the marker tackles, running hard, pushing up support with their teammates. If they can do that, they'll put them in good stead to maybe get a win. But South Sydney, they're looking really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing Matt Duffy back at fullback up against his old side. He's been killing it in the grades below, so it would not surprise me he comes out and scores a try or 2 tonight and has an absolute blinder.
And the Dragons, MC, Louis mentioning the effort areas that they need to produce and produce for good long periods of time. They've been unable to do that for the most part, even games that they've got reasonably close in. But it's how they convert decent, close, tight games into wins.
I do have my phone, Andrew, so I've got some team news for you. Keelan Kalamatangi to the bench for South Sydney. Sean Kepi to start. Bronson Garlick to start in the back row with Lockie Hubner to the bench. And for the Dragons, David Farley to start on the wing for Christian Tuipulotu. And as we spoke about, Jacob Little to start the game. And Damien Cook on the bench. And Josh Kerr to start as well for the Dragons at lock, with Hamish Stewart starting from the bench.
Okay, that's a good update, Michael. Thank you. But how do the Dragons stay in this game for long enough to potentially win it?
I think their only way is through South Sydney's middle. If you look at, if they get into a point shootout, well, they're going to lose. There's no doubt about that. So they've got to try and hold that middle third of South Sydney's and go through that, because, if they go into a game of touch footy, it could be a long afternoon for the Dragons.
Tell you what, I do think the Rabbitohs, Louis, are going to miss David Fafita apart from Jai Gray. He's been really good for them.
Yeah, he has. He's been very involved and very busy, and I think it's helped Cody Walker's game. Cody Walker's been playing some good football as well of late, and I feel like he pulls a lot of numbers off him, but also gets him heavily involved. So they will definitely miss him, but I think they're going to be hard to beat either way. Having whoever's out there this afternoon, I feel like their game's really on.
So who are you tipping, MC?
Oh, South Sydney.
But are you thinking big?
Yes.
What about you, Louis?
Yeah, I'm tipping South as well, but I'll tip him by 12.
All right, let's get back to you, Glenn Lauder.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. We're just underway again in the second half as Tino Fa'asuamaleaui takes it up to the 20-metre line for the Gold Coast Titans. They are trailing 22 points to nil against the New Zealand Warriors in Auckland. A first half double to Alofiana Pereira got the Warriors off and running. Chanel Harris-Tavita and Dallin Watene-Zelezniak with the other tries as the Gold Coast try to find a way back into this one. They had the ball through Mo Fotuaika, 10 short of the halfway line in this first set of the second half. Keanu Kinney is brought to ground about 3 short of halfway in centre field in the final play. Verrills out of dummy half will go to Jaden Campbell, puts the high kick up in the air, and it's taken on the 20-metre line by the Warriors winger Pereira, the double try scorer in the first half. I tell you what, Pereira loves playing in this fixture. He got a double today for the Warriors. A couple of years ago, he scored 4 for the Gold Coast. when they beat the Warriors 66-6 up on the Gold Coast. So he doesn't mind this fixture at all, as the Warriors have the ball 8 short of the halfway line in centre field through Nick Kluxter. Plays it for Egan, one off the ruck, right-hand side for Mitch Barnett, and Barnett plays it right on halfway on play 4. Left-hand side for Jackson Ford, makes more metres, battling his way into the Gold Coast defence and then taking the tackle 10 inside the Titans territory. Final play, so we'll go to the skies through Harris-Tavita on the left-hand side. Waiting for it on the 10-metre line is Kinney. Gets away from the first couple, and then he takes the tackle of Kirk Capel there, about 14 away from the line. Left-hand side, one off the ruck, they come for the winger Famani to take the hit up 18 short of the line in centre field. Slowly getting up and playing the ball, and then they come open side, right-hand side for Phil Sami. Phil Sami has 3 Warriors players on him and goes to ground 28 away from his line. So Verrills at dummy half, left-hand side for Fasuamala Aoi, 11 short of halfway. An arm wrestle to start this second half. Left-hand side, Kinney starts to try to find some expansive football for both Fermor, and Fermor takes the tackle 3 inside Warriors territory. The high kick up from Campbell through the centre of the park, 10 metres away from his own line, is taken only just by Shans Nickel Kluxter. Matty had almost slipped through his grasp, but he held onto it, and the Warriors lead 22-0 after 2.5 in the second half.
A great recovery there really late, but I've got to say this, that early in this half already, the Warriors are dominating the collision and winning the ruck speed already.
Khan Pereira is 23 away from his line, but he's facing his own goal line, so he's slow to get up and play that one, and the Warriors will hope that that doesn't cost them too much of that momentum as the Gold Coast look to try to get up quickly in defence. Tuivasa-Sheck takes the tackle 14 short of halfway, and now Watene-Zelezniak is only 9 inside his own territory. It's play 4. Egan scoots out a dummy half, and Vaimunga bounces off 1 or 2, and on the final play takes the tackle on halfway. Gets down on that knee so he can get up quickly and play the ball for Egan at dummy half. And now the kick on halfway from Tanner Boyd. It's a high one down that left channel of the Warriors, of the Gold Coast, I beg your pardon, the right channel of the Warriors. Keanu Kinney takes it and then brings it back up over the 20-metre line. It's a good chase. Jackson Ford leading it once again, and the tackle is just outside the 20-metre line for Kinney. They come one off the ruck, right-hand side for Phil Sami, and Sami is tackled 30 away from his own goal line as they come left-hand side now, and they have the ball 10 short of the halfway line in centre field. The Gold Coast trailing 22 points to 0, 4 gone in the second half, play 3. They shift it to the right, quick hands from Jaden Campbell. Kinney takes a grab at it, loses it but regathers, and then takes the tackle all in one motion, 9 short of halfway. Well, they're going to look for a 40-20 there on play 4. It went to Campbell, but he kept the ball moving to Mo Fodawaker, and Fodawaker gets a good offload as he was going to ground there. So the Gold Coast can continue this second phase play. Bo Fermor might have been over the horizontal there in the tackle from Blair Tower. The referee says it was okay, and he's a metre short of halfway as he gets up and plays it, and Campbell will kick the high midfield bomb taken by Watene-Zelezniak on his own 20-metre line. So Shans Nickel Kluxter gets the pass from Watene-Zelezniak, and he starts this set 18 away from his own goal line. Warriors 22, Gold Coast 0. 4.5 gone second half. Kiana Takarangi.
Yeah, it's a good grind here at the moment between both teams. But I think the difference is the Warriors they're not scared to throw the ball around on that first or second tackle, and they're having a little bit of success with finding some space early in their tackles. Early in their sets.
Yeah, here is Watene-Zelezniak, 27 away from his line. Quick play the ball again, and Jackson Ford has it about 11 short of halfway. 20 in from the eastern touchline. They come back left now for Barnett, and Mitch Barnett, some good post-contact meters there, really strong legs as he goes quickly to ground and then straight back up to play it for Egan. Boyd will kick on the final play on halfway again. It bounces away from Kinney, so he has to go back towards the goal line. He picks it up eventually about 5 away from his own line and allows the Warriors through Harris-Tavita and Vaimunga to chase him down and tackle him 15 away from his own goal line. So Campbell finds himself in a dummy half. Sammy gets the pass flicked out the back, but it goes behind Bo Fermor, and Fermor has to take the tackle. Only 9 away from his own line. They lose ground here, the Gold Coast. They're going to have to work hard to get away from their own end here as Jalen de Groot takes the tackle 10 away from his own line. It's play 3 and they are still only 10 away from their own goal line. Sammy goes again, backs into traffic and takes the tackle 21 away from his line. They're going to kick from deep inside their own half here, the Gold Coast. One final play as Campbell kicks from the 30-metre line. It's a deeper one. It's a good kick, but it's taken on the far. It's not. Charles-Nicoll-Klugstad drops it cold, 10 away from his own goal line. What a result that is from the Gold Coast coming away from their own end. They trail 22-0, 6.5 gone, second half, Matthew Elliott.
Well, I was just about to say the Gold Coast Titans in the arm wrestle showed a lack of poise there. Campbell comes up with a massive kick, but Charles-Nicoll-Klugstad had so much space in front of him to return that kick because it was from their own half, but I'm going to call that a shocker. Hit him straight in the chest, left a bullet hole in him, and wow, didn't the Titans need that?
Oh, that's quite an incredible turnaround from the Gold Coast. And you talk about momentum. Now the Gold Coast need to make the Warriors pay and wrestle that momentum back. They go to the left-hand side. Bo Fermor is met in a good tackle by Boyd and Laird Tower. 13 away from the line. Waiting for it at dummy half. Coming to the right-hand side was de Groot and then linking up with Mo Fotuaika. He's 9 away from the Warriors line. He plays the ball. They continue to the right-hand side. Through the hands of Campbell it goes, and then Keanu Kinney looking for options, but he doesn't have any, so he takes the tackle of Capewell. 8 away from the line again. They come back left now. Going from right to left and then back to the left as they continue on for Fotuaika. A couple of offloads there, losing a bit of their rudder and their direction. So Fotuaika takes the tackle right in front of the sticks, 4 away. Here's Tino close to the line. Fasuamala-Aui is a metre away from the line as he's taken on the final play. 8 minutes gone, second half. The Gold Coast still looking for their first points, down by 22. They go to the left-hand side. Grubbering in behind the line. Fermor might have had an arm on him as he tried to find a way through. Watene-Zelezniak wraps it up in the in goal. It was a good little grubber in behind from Lachlan Ilias. Fermor couldn't get there first. Watene-Zelezniak is first to ground it in the in goal for a goal line dropout. And the Warriors lead 22 points to 0. 8 gone, second half.
So this is where momentum comes from. You get that error, you show poise in that set of 6, you get through right to the end of the set and get a repeat set. This is where the opportunities exist. Not in the first one, but in the second.
Murray's listening on the Murray at Waganya. Jeff is, I beg your pardon. It's gone out on the full. It's batted back in, actually, by Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, who leaps from the field of play and bats it back into the field of play to stop it from going out on the full. But the Gold Coast do end up with it. So they have the ball here now through Zane Harrison. I beg your pardon, Cleese Haas is wearing number 19. Zane Harrison was originally named at 19, but it is Cleese Haas. Now they're close to the line through Fotuaika with a repeat set. A metre away from the line. Charles-Nicoll-Klugstad and Vaimunga desperately stop him along with Ford. Short ball out of dummy half from Verrills. Can Tino Fasuamala-Aui find a way over? No, I think he might be held up there. White Raymond has called timeout.
Hey, leave the ball.
I think there's plenty of Warriors bodies underneath him. There's 9 gone in the second half. They're not even going upstairs. So Tino's being told to go back to the 10-metre line. Play 2. Set will continue. Left-hand side, Jaden Campbell. Thinks about an offload to Verrills, but decides against it. Takes the tackle 8 away from the line. Verrills out of dummy half. Switches play, so Fasuamala-Aui goes back towards the ruck and then takes the tackle. Goes to ground a metre away from the line. Better passage of play for the Gold Coast. They get another set as well. A 4th tackle repeat set. That's a killer for the Warriors. Verrills tried to dive over from dummy half, but they were quick to it, the markers. He plays the ball a metre away from the line. They come right. Cleese Haas stands up, looks to get the offload away and doesn't manage to do so. That right knee heavily strapped after missing last week. They come left-hand side now. Continuing on. Good pick up from Phil Sami close to the ground. But he takes the tackle 7 away from the line. Jalen de Groot's waiting at dummy half. Comes back open side right. Ilias is waiting there. Fotuaika through the hands to Campbell. Here's Keanu Kinney. Cut out ball now for Fayamani. Fayamani, great offload. And they'll score here through Jojo Fafita. What about the offload from Fayamani, flicking it out the back? He managed to wrap his arm around one-handed and And then Jojo Fafita in the corner scores the first try of the afternoon for the Gold Coast Titans. They trailed 22-4 with a kick to come. There's 10 gone second half.
I want to watch this put down again, Glenn. I'm not 100% sold on it. It was a great lead up, a set from the Titans, shifting it from left to right. As they shifted out to their right-hand side, Firmano, as you said, gets a great... Oh, no, I was wrong. He got it down.
A quick cover up there, Matthew. A quick correction, but yeah, the strength to get that arm out free, Kiana, and get that pass away. And yeah, it is a good put down in the end.
There's a really good put down there, and as you said, incredible around the corner sort of offload. He got maybe 2 or 3 of those Warriors defenders in on him, and has done really well. But it was always going to be tough for the Warriors there. They made it hard for themselves. They had to defend. I think that was the 4th set on their line, so really good effort there by the Titans to find some points, which they desperately needed.
Well, you hit the rewind button back to Charles Zickle clock start, stopping that, and this is what we're seeing in modern footy. We talked about it off air, 22-0 at half time. A couple of years ago, that's game over. Now, you just don't know. You get that opportunity, you get 4 sets in a row. Now they get the kickoff, that's the 5th.
Well, I said, didn't I, when they got that scrum feed, they had to make the Warriors pay, and they have done. That's exactly what the Gold Coast needed to do to try to get themselves back in this one.
And they did it again with poise. They didn't overplay. They got a repeat set. They got the ball back from that repeat set and just maintained the pressure. They knew that points would come if they did what they do best.
Jaden Campbell is 16 from 18 this year, but he's absolutely shanked that one, and I reckon it could be that wind at that southern end of the field. It was also just a terrible kick, Matthew. 22 points to 4, none from 1 this evening. 0467920222. There's been a lot of text messages. Sorry that I haven't been able to get to them, Matt in Kingswood. Mark says, did you say Dragons Souths in New South Wales Cup? Yeah, is Loco playing? Loco's not playing New South Wales Cup. He's named as a reserve in first grade, so we might see him. Lycan is playing in reserves. Stuart from Aspley, I'm going to the RSL to watch a great pro wrestling event. That sounds sensational. Thank you, Stuart. From the Gear Stuart at Kalinga, thank you. G'day, gentlemen. Mr. Elliot was just seemed better without Metcalf. I'm sorry that him and Boyd don't seem to work, says Filthy Phil. Would you agree with that, Matthew?
I could say this is that Tanner Boyd definitely plays better when he's got the car keys all to himself.
So the Gold Coast have lost the ball from the restart, and the Warriors have it back on 0 tackle. Quite incredible. They get the try, and then they give the ball straight back from the restart. It means that Leotawa has the ball on play 1, 18 away from the Gold Coast line. He plays it left-hand side, they go, and only about 9 away from the line, held up in the tackle, is Aaron Clark. He takes a quick play, the ball for Egan at dummy half. Right-hand side they go. Boyd gets the ball away to Halasima. Halasima's 7 away from the line, play 3. Can they hit straight back here, the Warriors? Egan left out of dummy half. Short ball. Fisher-Harris, the wraparound is sensational with Aaron Clark. What about the wraparound from the 2 middle forwards, James Fisher-Harris and Aaron Clark? Clark scores the try, his 3rd of the season, and the very first set after conceding a try, they go up the other end and score after a mistake from the kickoff from the Gold Coast. The Warriors 26, Gold Coast 4, kick to come, 27 to go.
James Fisher-Harris, take a bow, get all the credit that you deserve. I'll say Aaron Clark did a great job there with the offload to him, but what about that? Caught the ball, immediately turned into the line, into contact, sat the pass up perfectly. You're not going to see a better middles try than that.
They were like halves there, Kiana.
Yeah, that was very impressive by the big boys, but the Titans, an error on first tackle after points is an absolute coach killer, and I'm not surprised that's just happened there. As we've spoken about all game, momentum, you got to hold on to it, and they didn't, and that's what happens.
What about Aaron Clark? He didn't score a try all of 2025. He's already got 3 this season against his former club. So flying is Aaron Clark, and the poor old Gold Coast Titans, after finally finding their way onto the scoreboard, straight up the other end. It's quite incredible, as Tanner Boyd should have no mistake from 10 out and just to the left of the upright. I'm sorry, Tanner, if I've put the mock on you, but From this distance, it's probably your own fault. He absolutely nails it. He is 3 from 4 tonight. And the Warriors lead 26 points to 4. Matthew, you look like you've got something on your mind.
No, I was just looking at those flags in the background would suggest that our suspicion that the wind is blowing quite solidly there is correct. And I also imagine the amount of jumpers in the crowd and parkers there all zipped up might also be an indication that it's a tad windy.
Gold Coast have beaten Essendon 119 to 110 in the AFL. Second half Queensland Cup, Sunshine Coast 22, Northern Pride 16. Half-time Ipswich 18, PNG 10. New South Wales Cup, the Raiders have beat the Storm 48-12. And the Rabbitohs and the Dragons are locked at 16 all in the second half. More big collision there for Watene-Zelezniak, but he gets up and plays the ball. And they come to the left-hand side from Fisher Harris. And look at the Warriors up and about here. That was a flat ball out of dummy half from Egan. They got away with it there, the Warriors. But all of a sudden, the Warriors are momentum back in their favour again. They're on halfway on play 4 through Egan. They are just rolling down the park in this first set after points, and they have it 12 metres inside Gold Coast territory.
I've got a suspicion that James Fisher-Harris got them all back at halfway after conceding that try and just looked at them.
Harris-Tavita might have got some contact after the kick. No, it was pretty simultaneous, and the referee is happy to allow it to play on, and the Gold Coast will be able to start this set 10 away from their own goal line. Matthew, I'm sorry, I was watching Chanel Harris-Tavita there.
I'm just saying the Warriors have just flicked a switch. They are going, their contact, everything has just turned up from a 7 to a 9.5.
Maybe spinal tap style up to 11 as the Gold Coast go to the left, one off the ruck, and Phil Sami makes some metres, plants the ball to get the quick play of the ball, and he's 15 short of the halfway line as they come to the left-hand side, up over halfway. They're 3 inside Warriors territory, and Curtis Morin is back on the field, so he plays the ball as they go to the right on the final play as the high kick comes through the air. Faisal gets his first break of the night, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he went off in the first half, so that's almost 60 minutes straight for Tino Faisal-Malaawi, if we're not mistaken. And the Warriors will play the ball 15 away from their own goal line. Now they find themselves through Tuivasa Sheck up over the 20-metre line, and they quick play the ball again. Here's Charles Nickel-Cookster. He's on the 30 as he looks to get a quick play of the ball here. He does. Right-hand side, Egan out of dummy half for Ford. Ford bounces into the defence and finds himself within 10 of halfway and plays the ball quickly again for Egan. Left-hand side they come here, the New Zealand Warriors. Aaron Clark, the try scorer, is a metre short of halfway on the final play. It's 23 to go and the Warriors lead 28 points to 4. ABC Sports coverage of NRL Saturday off to Stadium Australia next. It's a good take by Keanu Kinney. It's an equally good chase from Leka Halasima, and he brings him to ground 19 away from the line. The Gold Coast have to come away from their own end again here. 28-4 down, 23 to go.
Yeah, Halasima, that's a really good thing. We talk about his ball carrying, but just doing the subtleties like kick chase like that, coming up with a really safe play to get them off to a good defensive start.
Right-hand side, Keanu Kinney, no-look pass for Campbell. Another no-look pass, getting it away to Jojo Fafita. And Fafita takes the tackle 10 inside Warriors territory. The only try scorer of the night for the Gold Coast. Sam Healy's on the field now for the Titans, and he gets the pass out of dummy half. I beg your pardon, Oliver Pascoe is on the field for the Titans. It'd be weird if Sam Healy was, as they go right. And Jaden Campbell puts the high kick up in the air to the left-hand side of the Warriors, and it's taken by Alofiana Khan Pereira, and he's put to ground about 9 away from his own goal line. Good chase on that occasion by the Gold Coast, and Charles Nickel-Klukster on play 2 is still only 10 away from his own goal line. So that is better stuff from the Gold Coast, but the Warriors still with the upper hand, 28 points to 4 with 22 to go. It's a long way back now for the visitors. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is 18 away from his line. Healy is on the park, but he's wearing the Warriors jersey, of course. He's a dummy half, goes to the right, and Watene-Zelezniak gets up and plays the ball 25 away from the line. Coming left from Healy out of dummy half for Charles Nickel-Klukster, 30 away. Good defending from the Warriors, from the Gold Coast, but again they can't get him on the deck. Healy comes right out of dummy half for Tanner Boyd to kick on the last from his own 30-metre line. It's one of the deepest kicks that they've had to make this evening, and Kinney takes it on his own 30-metre line. So now this little arm wrestle, Kinney is only 8 short of halfway on play 1.
I keep seeing in the Gold Coast here little moments and morsels that they're a good team. They just got to show the poise to string it together. They've got some real strike defensively and an attack. They just need to string moments together rather than just little plays here and there.
Gibbsy morsel as Farmully plays it left-hand side. They go one off the ruck. What? No?
I'll let it be Gibbsy's IP.
Okay, left-hand side they come. Gordon out of dummy half, linking up through the centre of the park with Curtis Moran. He plays the ball 28 away from the line. Graham Campbell will go to the score. What did he call Campbell? Graham, I'm thinking about now. That's lost forward. Offside. And Chance Nickel Klugstar, I beg your pardon, Chanel Harris-Tavita is in front of his teammate Pereira. So they give the penalty away, 2 metres away from their own line, the Warriors. And this is the moment for the Gold Coast, Kiana.
Yeah, it kind of just bounced straight into his hands. He looked like he didn't really want to take it. Matty, what are you thinking?
Well, if he didn't take it, there was a chance they would have scored. So you take the penalty and,
Hope they don't hear. They get a set restart. Mo Fodawaker, 5 away from the line. There's a quarter of this game to go. Gets up in centre of field. Plays the ball for Gordon. Left-hand side. Bounces to nobody. Picked up by Jalen de Groot. Jalen de Groot is brought to ground. 12 away from the line. Slow to get up and play the ball. If you look at those ruck speeds, there'll be a big difference between these two sides tonight. Gordon scooting out of dummy half. He's 3 away from the line. He'll slowly get up and play it, and waiting for it at dummy half was Ilias. Right-hand side they go. Now Kinney will change direction and look for the offload, but he can't find a way through. He takes the tackle 9 away from the line. Gordon waiting at the eye. Can't quite hold. He does well to hold onto the ball there. Gets up and plays the ball for Gordon. Left-hand side for Bai. They've got numbers here. De Groot is met in a great tackle from Watene-Zelezniak. That is a bone rattler under the rib cage and under the ball, forces it out, and Watene-Zelezniak with the high fives as the Warriors get the ball back 10 away from their own goal line and lead 28-4, 19 to go.
Well, sometimes when you're in the coach's box, you're upset with errors, but then there's forced errors. That is officially a forced error. You just sit there and you go, okay, we'll cop that one. It's the ones where they're coming up with a poor carry or a poor decision, but that Dallin did not miss. He hit the bullseye.
0467920222. We're getting so many texts that I can't get through. Thanks to Ruben from Brizzy. Thanks to Anthony. Thanks to Greg on the Murray. Keep up the talk for the Titans. We need what we can get. Stray Bulldog in Mossman. Thank you for your text message, and Filthy as well. And thank you to Neil, who says there's 2 particular things that he likes about this Saturday game. The Warriors are playing well and Matthew Elliott's involved. So there you go. Matthew, you've got another one in your corner as Wyatt Raymond is just calling out an HIA, and this is going to be for substitute for the New Zealand Warriors on the field.
Leotawa.
Ali Leotawa. Oh, it's the... I thought he was calling him Harley. It's, Ali Leotawa, of course, the centre for the Warriors going off for the HIA, and it was this collision with Jalen de Groot that Watene-Zelezniak got the ball knocked out of.
Yeah, he was just on the other side of the tackle there. He's got his hands raised going, what the hell? I'm fine.
Yeah.
That sometimes is a real key indicator that they're not.
Well, you'll get the 15 minutes. There's only 18 and a half to go in the game, but of course it's 15 minutes of clock time, so even if there's stoppages, that continues to roll on. Healy out of dummy half, gets up over towards halfway, and he's about a metre short. He'll play the ball. Left-hand side, they will kick from just inside their own half, the Warriors. And now it's taken well under pressure by Fairmani, and Fairmani will start this set for the Gold Coast Titans about 28 away from his own line. Campbell's at dummy half. Left-hand side they go, 1 off the ruck for Jojo for Feeder, and he's 31 away from his line, 20 in from the western touchline. Left-hand side for Phil Sami. Phil Sami is 15 short of halfway. Getting up and playing it with 17:50 to go. The Warriors leading 28 points to 4 over the Gold Coast through the hands of Moran to Bai. It's out the back from... Oh, the referee's saying it was knocked on. I thought Cooper Bai lost that backwards, but he might have lost it into a Warriors player and then it went backwards. Anyway, Wyatt Raymond is saying it's a knock on. John. And the Gold Coast have come up with another error here, yet did go into Tanner Boyd and then went backwards. So that's where the knock-on came from. Yeah, the Gold Coast just letting things slip through their grasp, and the Warriors are heading, you would have to think, to another victory at home. They lead 28-4, 17 to go, and they have a scrum 10 inside Gold Coast territory.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Cooper Bai, but then he just tried to overplay his hand. But I'm going to say this again. The Warriors have turned the volume up here. What about their intensity in the last 10 minutes? They're showing signs that they want to really finish this game off.
They had the ball through Pereira, 35 metres away from the Gold Coast line. One off the ruck, right-hand side comes James Fisher-Harris. He's 29 away in centre field. Second place, slow to get up and play it here, Fisher-Harris. And they get 6 again for the arm across the face as he was trying to get up and play the ball. That's why he was a little bit slow to get to his feet. Aaron Clark is 20 away from the line. Right-hand side, Tanner Boyd back on the inside. It's a good little switch of play, and it almost sends Jacob Laban through. He gets up and plays the ball 10 away from the line. Healy scoots out a dummy half, goes himself. He's wrapped up a metre away from the line. He'll get up quickly and play the ball. Nickel Klukstar dummy half, left-hand side Boyd. Shows, gets it away to Fisher-Harris. Now they continue on left-hand side. They got numbers. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Earlier in the game, he was giving those to Pereira. This time he goes himself, and he's tackled a metre away from the line. Pereira's a dummy half. Now they shift from the left back to the right. Aaron Clark gets it away to Jackson Ford, and Ford is looking for an offload, but he takes the tackle 11 away from the line. Final play, Warriors 28, Gold Coast 4, 15 to go. Out of dummy half is Sam Healy. Dummies, goes himself, Sam Healy, and he takes the tackle close to the line on the final play. Not a terrible outcome, but because it means the Gold Coast have to start this set from about 30 centimetres away from their own goal line. The Warriors 28, Gold Coast 4, 15 and a half to go, Kiana Takarangi.
Yeah, it was a good effort there by the Titans defence. They had to really scramble to make sure that the Warriors didn't find more points there, which I felt were coming.
Jalen de Groot for the Gold Coast now, 18 away from his own goal line. Gets up and plays the ball. And Phil Sami tries to make a few more metres, and they get a penalty here, the Gold Coast. That will be a reliever. The Warriors in front of the referee, and on their 30-metre line, the Gold Coast, they will kick for touchdown. 28-4, 15 to go, Matthew.
Yeah, you're right. That does get them out of their own territory. Just a little sneak check there. Jackson Ford is past 200 now for the game. And again, I'd love to be able to merge his ruck speed in with that as well, because it's not as though he's just tapping the ball forward. Another really quick play the ball in that last play that was just mowed down by a really good defensive play on the line.
Yeah, Curtis Morin came up with a couple of decent defensive plays in that set. He also got absolutely whacked at one stage, so it was a good recovery as the Gold Coast had the ball 3 metres inside Warriors territory in centre field. 14 and a half to go. The Warriors lead 28 points to 4 as Keanu Kinney tries to make something happen. He gets the ball away for Oliver Pascoe. He gets up and plays the ball 35 metres away from the line. Left-hand side they come. Morin trying to find a way through. Gets the ball away. Still going for Josh Paxton on the field for the Gold Coast, but he loses it. Just when the Gold Coast, when there's a morsel, when there's a glimmer, Matthew, they lose the ball 20 away from the Warriors line.
Chance Nickel-Klockstar did a really good job there defensively, chopping that ball down. I want to give Andrew Webster a really big rap here, because Keanu Kinney last week, I called that game, he ran amok. He had spiders on him and Vaseline all over his body. No one could grab hold of him. Tonight, you can see they've really had a focus on that and given him no space at all.
265 metres, if you don't mind, last week is quite incredible, isn't it? I mean, I know fullbacks come up with big numbers, but yeah, Parramatta couldn't get anywhere near him as the Warriors win that scrum feat. 20 away from their own goal line. Briefly around the grounds in the AFL, Hawthorn leading Adelaide 25, Port Adelaide 25 to no score, and in the New South Wales Cup, South Sydney now leading the Dragons 22-16 late in that one. Mitch Barnett is 25 away from his line. Flat ball out of dummy half from Healy to Aaron Clark. Clark tries to get up quickly and play the ball, but he slips back to ground, 13 short of halfway. Left-hand side they come for Fisher-Harris, and Fisher-Harris has lost the ball in the contact, and the Gold Coast now celebrating. So with 13 minutes to go, it's just getting a little bit sloppy with more errors starting to creep in. But the Warriors won't mind at 28 points to 4 up if they can continue to keep the Gold Coast out here.
Oh, James has just pulled the mirror out of his pocket. He's given himself the stare now. He's looking in the mirror. And he's scaring himself to death as well.
I wouldn't like looking in the mirror if I was James Fisher-Harris, particularly not at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, I think he was thinking about making a challenge there, but then he realised he's a prop, even though he's the captain, so he can't do it.
Yeah, props aren't allowed, and he was just making that stripping motion, wasn't he? But did look like a loose carry, so I think he might have missed out on that challenge. I suppose when you're leading 28-4 with 12 to go, you might have more of a look at a challenge than normal, as Cooper Bye takes the tackle 30 away from the Warriors line. They get 6 again here, the Gold Coast. Right-hand side for Ilias, a good ball back on the inside as well, almost sending Curtis Moran through a gap, but he plays the ball 18 metres away from the line. Here's Cooper Bye again, goes to ground on his back, 14 away from the line. Slow to get up and play the ball after Barnett came over the top. Right-hand side, Ilias goes to the line, gets the pass away to Josh Paxton, and then they keep it alive through Campbell. And I think there might have been, they're just looking at a collision here. Charles Nickel-Plugster has come out of that looking worse for wear. He's grabbing his right knee as well, Nickel-Plugster. He might be also grabbing his face, is Charles Nickel-Plugster, as he just copped a boot in the eye, didn't he, as he went to the ground, I think.
Well, you talk about the NFL. What about Jaden Campbell? He was like a running back jumping over the
defensive line.
The defensive line to try and score a touchdown there, but came up with the error, and Chihuahua.
Well, then Arama Howard jumped over the pylon as well, and he was the one that copped Charles Nickel-Plugster on the way through. So they continue on here on play 4. Moran plays it 5 away from the line, right for Campbell. They go without the ball on that right-hand side. It might have been touched by the Warriors. They score in the corner here, the Gold Coast, through Fayamani, and the referee, Wyatt Raymond, points to the spot. So Fayamani gets his 4th try of the season. The Gold Coast score their 2nd of the night. It was ugly, but it all counts. The ball went out the back to no one. He ended up with it, 28-8 kick to come, 11 to go.
Well, Campbell, I'm trying to see who went across the face to, but because the defence was right on the, was it the back row there?
No, it was Jojo Fafita.
Jojo Fafita knocks it back over his head because he couldn't catch it. Nothing like a bounce pass to put a try on.
It was backwards off Fafita, then backwards off Keanu Kinney. They both batted it backwards, and then Fayamani comes up with it in the end, Keanu.
Yeah, it was a weird one, that one. Exactly as you guys said. It was 2 little tap backs to, to some wide open space there. Good try. We'll take it, hey, for the Titans.
That was a forehand down the line, wasn't it?
They both were, yeah. It was like playing handball in the school. That was outstanding from the Gold Coast.
That's before my time.
Oh, they didn't have tennis balls when you were at school?
They had rocks.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, sorry.
They had walls. They had walls to look at.
I know how James Fisher-Harris feels now.
Old. Jaden Campbell, none from 2. He slices that one as well in the heavy breeze at Mount Smart. 0467 920 222. Thank you very much for your text messages. Cameron at Borkham Hills. Brian from Yamina. Matthew said Ilias is underrated. No, he's like, okay, thank you, Brian. Matthew nails it. Spiders and Vaseline all over. Okay, we're getting plenty of fun text messages this afternoon. Have they started on the sports drinks early on 0467 920 222? Andrew and the boys could have some interesting ones. And then Spriggy, Dean Hallertau and Ruan Sims in what is going to be a cracker at Campbelltown tonight. Sold out, the Tigers and the Broncos. So still plenty of rugby league still to come. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. In the second half of that New South Wales Cup game, South Sydney still leading the Dragons 22-16 and Hawthorn leading Port Adelaide 25-0. Second half, Sunshine Coast leading Northern Pride 22-18 and Ipswich leading PNG 18-10. The Gold Coast, decent set after points here on play 2. They get an offload away and scooting through up towards the 40-metre line. Really good run there from Oliver Pascoe as they continue on here through Kinney, and Kinney is up over halfway. So play 4, they find themselves 8 inside Warriors territory. 9.5 to go. Here's Cooper Bye. He gets an offload away, but it was just a little bit too fast, and Oliver Pascoe couldn't hold on to it as he was flying through quickly there. You could see what the Gold Coast were trying to do, but they were just a little bit too fast for their own hands. A knock on, and the Warriors get the ball 30 metres away from their own goal line, leading 28-8 with 9 to go.
Yeah, they found some space at the back of their ruck there, and on the third play where they've really started to made some damage there. Pascoe in support, but I've got to say Cooper Bice passed to him. That would have been like a catch in the gully, that one would have been if he caught that. But he's come on and made a little bit of a difference, Pascoe. He's very dangerous.
Now they're going to challenge this, aren't they? To see if maybe there was a Warriors hand. The touches.
The Titans player knocks the ball on the right prior to Jackson Ford making contact.
Yeah, they were just
challenges unsuccessful.
They were hoping that Jackson Ford had tried to make the tackle without the ball. It was one of those shies at the stumps, wasn't it? A hopeful rather than expectation when it came to that challenge.
Well, they got a break. That's all I'm going to say, because there was no way that was ever going to be considered.
9 minutes to go. 12 errors to 3, the Gold Coast on the wrong side of that count, and that is telling as well. The Warriors leading 28-8, less than 9 minutes to go, and they have the ball 10 short of halfway as Fisher Harris gets up and plays it. They go to the right-hand side for Barnett, and Mitch Barnett is taken in the tackle, 5 short of halfway centre field. That is a forward pass out of dummy half for Healy, but I think they might let that one go as well. They have the ball 5 metres inside Gold Coast territory. Aaron Clark gets up and plays it. Healy left-hand side now, gets it. That's a good tackle as well to stop James Fisher Harris. Curtis Moran was involved. They come left, staying short side here, Jackson Ford, and Ford is taken about 35 metres away, make it 25 metres away from the Gold Coast line. Right-hand side, Tanner Boyd will kick towards that left corner of the Gold Coast. Going up was everybody, and coming down with it was Ilias out the back. Everyone who jumped missed it. Ilias got there, batted it backwards. Omani gets it away, and now Bo Fermor straightens on his run. He makes a good carry up over the 20-metre line, and they will start this set with 8 minutes to go. 20 away from their own line here, the Gold Coast. Left-hand side, one off the ruck they go for Phil Sami. 28 points to 8, the Warriors lead. Looking for back-to-back wins after back-to-back losses, the Warriors. They have scored more than 38 points in each of their wins so far this season. Currently they lead by 28 points to 8. Can they get another 10 and keep that statistic going? The Gold Coast have the ball at the moment, 12 short of the halfway line through Kinney. He plays the ball for Pascoe. Left-hand side for Fasumala Awi. Keeping it alive, Ilias. Short ball, Fermor takes the tackle just short of halfway. Final play, the Gold Coast. They will go to the left-hand side now and change direction back onto the right. So Campbell will put the high midfield bomb up. The Gudio, and right in the centre of Mount Smart Stadium. Tino Fasumala-Awi was the first one there. Gets a great pass away to Arama Howe. Still going, Arama Howe, and he'll score the try under the posts. That is one of the weirdest tries you'll ever see. The bomb, the Gold Coast fans are laughing in the stands. That went straight up in the air. Campbell's kick in the midfield. It goes to nobody. It bounces. Fasumala-Awi bats it back again. It's another bat back. And Arama Howe he actually gets the pass away as he falls to ground. But then Arama Howe just runs through everybody. He dummies, goes himself and scores 28-12 with a kick to come, 6:40 to go.
I think you've got it right, Glenn. Is the Gold Coast said, look, we're not going to win this, so let's score 2 of the weirdest tries ever. Tino takes that ball and he just literally, for our listeners, just lobs it over his head to nowhere. Just falls into the right arms and just strolls in for a try.
It is absolute. It's like they're playing rugby sevens out there, Kiana.
That's it. But how's the pace on Adama Howe? That looked so impressive. He's just outrun Dallin coming across from the other side of the field, and
Shans.
Yeah, he's just made them look silly. But that's where the Titans look the best, in broken, messy play. You know, they're not setting up to score these nice tries. They're just kind of random.
Yeah.
But it's working for them.
We love random on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Adama Howe, another player who is in great try-scoring form this season. That's his 4th so far this campaign. Of course, scored a double against the Dragons back in round 4. Now, I'm just wondering whether there might be a slight delay here. Are they wondering if Tino was onside? That's my first question mark. Adama Howe is pointing to the spot, and now they have cleared it, and Jaden Campbell has converted the goal. Adama just giving the referee the old... he put the fake whistle in his mouth and pointed to the spot, and then they listened. It was a weird build-up. 0467 920 222. The game isn't over until they call bingo, says Filthy. It's a worry for Titans from Sharky at Swan Bay, and he would Waverley Road. From the Gear Steward, put the Wally World sign up again. Sorry, folks, the park's closed. A little bit of National Lampoon. That was National Lampoon, wasn't it, Matthew? It's a bit too old for me, so I'll ask you.
Pass.
Thank you very much for your text messages. Hawthorn leading Port Adelaide 25-0 in the AFL. Second half Queensland Cup. Sunshine Coast leading Northern Pride 22-18. Half-time Ipswich leading PNG 18-10. Winner Manly 4 leading Brisbane Tigers 0 early in their game. And Rabbitohs still leading 22-16 late in that game in the New South Wales Cup. There is a lot of concern here for Keanu Kinney. He has been met in a really big tackle as the Gold Coast make first use of the ball after points. He runs straight at James Fisher-Harris, which is never a great thing to do. Aaron Clark was there as well, and he has stayed prone on the ground. This is a real concern now for the Gold Coast Titans, for their star fullback, who, of course, missed so much of last year through injury as well, Matthew.
I'm making an assumption. I think it's the way he actually lands on the ground with the ball there and twists, because he is holding his ribs or his core rather than, he's not looking for a penalty here. So it is like a genuine injury, but I think he's landed on the ball and got twisted at the same time.
Well, we hope so, don't we? Because it was such a concern when we saw what happened to him last year with that bulging disc in his neck, and we know how close he came to not being able to play rugby league, potentially not even being able to walk again with that injury last year. But this one hopefully does look like he's just been winded. He's back on his feet. He plays the ball, which is wonderful news, and the Gold Coast will be able to continue with the ball 30 metres away from their own line. We're having a few issues with the feed from New Zealand, as you can probably tell with the audio, but we continue on, and the Gold Coast have the ball about 35 metres, make it 40 away from their own line as they come right-hand side out of dummy half through Pascoe, linking up with Tino Fasuamala-Awi on the halfway line. He's put on his back, so he's slow to get up and play it after the tackle of Healy. They come left from Pascoe, dummy half. On it goes for Morin. Now Lachlan Ilias keeps it alive, and Beau Fermor is put on his back as well, 8 short of halfway. I beg your pardon, 8 inside Warriors territory. Left-hand side, Campbell goes to the skies on the final play. 5 minutes to go in the second half. The Warriors leading 28-14. It's a good take by Shans Nickel-Klugstar, a metre away from his own goal line.
Yeah, and again, they're at a stage of the game where they need to pop the cork a little bit and play a little bit random, as we see the Warriors here make a break down their left-hand side.
They do. They go left. I'm flicking between TVs. One's ahead of the other one, and Pereira goes left-hand side. Gets the ball back on the inside. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He's 10 metres away from halfway, and bad news for the Gold Coast. Keanu Kinney has now gone straight up the tunnel. So a possible injury concern there for Josh Hannay and his fullback. Maybe a rib. We'll find out throughout the week and maybe throughout the afternoon with Andrew and the team as NRL on Saturday on ABC Sport continues. The Warriors on the final play kick downfield. It's fielded on the 10-metre line, and it's a good return as well as Jalen de Groot gets up and plays it on the 30-metre line. It looks as though Jalen might go back to fullback for the last 4 minutes or so of this one, with the Warriors leading 28 points to 14. Famani gets up and plays the ball 12 short of halfway. Left-hand side, Phil Sami, and he goes into James Fisher-Harris and Mitch Barnett. He'll play the ball 5 short of halfway. They come to the right now. Elias gets the ball away. Campbell, short ball there for Howe, and Howe is 8 metres inside Warriors territory. Now left-hand side, Pascoe out of dummy half goes to Campbell. Campbell takes the tackle of Fisher-Harris on the final play. So Pascoe goes left to Ilias to kick on the 30-metre line. That's the Warriors 30-metre line. The Gold Coast chasing, but Watene-Zelezniak comes up with it. He almost got away through, but it was good defending there from the Gold Coast to stop him getting too far away, as the Warriors will have to work hard here now. This is tackle 2, only 3 metres away from their own goal line as Leah Tower gets up and plays the ball. He passed his HIA. He's back on the field now for the Warriors after that 15-minute delay. Pereira on play 3 is 8 away from his own line, and now Jackson Ford on play 4 is 17 away from his own line. They're going to have to kick really deep here. Healy gets a good run out of dummy half and gets an offload away to Valmunga. Keeps it alive for Barnett. This is much better from the Warriors after a slow start to the set. Another offload from Barnett back to Valmunga. He might have caught one in the face. race. He's held up in the tackle on play 5, but they're only 9 short of halfway, so it's better than it could have been. And Boyd kicks from just inside 40, but it is straight down the throat of Jalen de Groot, and he will start this set, Matthew, 10 short of halfway. There's 2:40 to go. The Warriors lead 28-14.
I might have mentioned Mitch Barnett earlier in the game, but yet again, just like him coming back from an ACL injury, it normally takes a little while for them to adapt to the game. My goodness, the impact he's had today in the short periods he's been out there has been quite stunning.
Really good signing for Brisbane, 3-year deal. Grant Anderson coming the other way, so another outside back for the Warriors at the expense of a forward as the Gold Coast quick hands again down the right. We've seen that a few times this afternoon. Fiamani takes the tackle, 28 away from the Warriors goal line. 2 minutes to go. They trail by 14, but it's been a spirited second half from the Gold Coast, and they've thrown the ball around a fair bit as well as Campbell takes the tackle, 23 away from the line. Left-hand side they come. Good ball back on the inside for Cooper Bye. They'll score another one here. The forwards linking up beautifully. Bye back on the inside for Curtis Morin, who scores under the sticks. The Gold Coast are starting to make the Warriors nervous. I get the feeling the clock will end up winning, but 28 points to 18 with a kick to come and a minute 50 to go. It was wonderful ball movement through the big fellas through the middle.
Absolutely. Well, Pascoe gets out of dummy half there, and the inside ball to Cooper Bye is just like from Tino there, just the one-handed pass inside. Well, he actually didn't lob it this time, or didn't bat it. It was a normal pass, so I didn't really recognise it at first, but Cooper Bye, I think he's such a great talent and a great signing for the Titans.
Campbell's taken the kick quickly. It's 28 points to 20, Kiana, with a minute 40 to go. We've got maybe a possible 8-point try in it.
I know, bring it on. It's been a really good last 10 minutes for the Titans. They've kind of flicked a bit of a switch here, and they're ready to, what do you reckon, 8 points in 2 minutes?
Well, I'm back and get out.
It's got to be the possible 8-point try is really their only option, isn't it? You'd have to think. A minute 46 to go. Don't forget the Warriors leading 22-0 at halftime. They were the only team in it just about. It's been a really good turnaround from the Gold Coast Titans around the grounds in the AFL. Hawthorn 45, Port Adelaide 19. Queensland Cup, Northern Pride has been beaten by Sunshine Coast 26-24. Ipswich leading PNG 18-16. Brisbane Tigers and Wynnum Manly 4-all. And Souths have beaten the Dragons 28-22 in New South Wales Cup. A minute 30 to go. The Gold Coast have a full set here. Jalen de Groot starts at 29 metres away from his own line. Now they go through a strong carry of Famani. He's brought to ground about 15 short of halfway. Out of dummy half comes Pascoe to the right-hand side. He goes and tries to get Curtis Morin through a hole, but the Warriors wrap him up, and Morin plays at 5 short of halfway. Left for Campbell. They're kicking early in the set. A minute 10 to go. The chase is on. Can Phil Sammy get there first? He won't. Chance Nickel Cookster takes it over the dead ball line. There could be another set here for the Gold Coast. There's 58 seconds to go, and it's a Warriors goal line dropout with a 28 points to 20 lead.
Yeah, great read there on the kick there, and it was a foot race, and I didn't think Shans was going to win it there, but he shows great poise, takes the ball dead, and the clock winds down. We've only got 40 seconds to go here.
Oh, geez, it's been a good end to this one, hasn't it? 4 seconds left on the kick clock. They're taking all the time they can. You'll hear the siren just about in the background. Now they made it just in time. 27 seconds left. Cooper Bye will start this set for the Gold Coast. 25 metres away from the Warriors line. About 20 in from the eastern touchline. Here's Ilias. Right-hand side Campbell. They continue on quickly. Jojo for Theta Famali. He gets past a couple, Famani, and then loses the ball. It was desperation for the Gold Coast Titans. James Fisher-Harris picks it up, takes the tackle, and it will be all over. It was always a bridge too far for the Gold Coast, but where there's life, there's hope. They had to throw the ball around. They also had to hope for a possible 8-point try, and the Warriors will celebrate 28 points to 20. They get there in the end. It was a nervous second half, and they win 28-20 over the Gold Coast Titans, Matthew.
Yeah, it was an exciting second half. But I've got to say that I never really felt like the Warriors were in danger. They'll be a little disappointed because I think the queue might have gone in the rack with about 15 to go there. That intensity that they really raised halfway through that second half, they turned it off, and it was good to see the Titans take advantage of it, no doubt about that.
Well, they had more than 60% of the ball at half-time. The Gold Coast finished the game with more possession, 52-48, and they improved their completions in the second half as well, the Gold Coast. But, Kiana, there were still a lot of errors from that Titans side as they tried to race back into the game.
Yeah, definitely. It was just a little bit too late for that, that little comeback. They got close, but I agree with you, Maddie. I think that the Warriors definitely looked like they were going to win the game for most of it. But, yeah, good signs for the Titans to be able to bounce back, but a little bit concerning for the Warriors. They'll have to be better moving forward against some tougher teams.
Yeah, so the Warriors ended up having to make more tackles. It was, I think, the Gold Coast had made 60 more in the first half. Well, the Warriors made 30 more over the game. So they made 90 more tackles in the second half. 355 tackles and missed 34. The Gold Coast made 320, but they missed 50 tackles. 13 errors to 6, which we touched on as well, which doesn't make things easy for a side to win a game with that many errors. We will get some reaction from the host broadcaster in just a moment, but Matthew, let's have a think about our ABC Player of the Year points.
What, already? Come on, mate. I'm getting...
Oh, you're still going? Sorry, I saw a number there and I thought you had them all.
I've got one.
Okay, well, I'll give you another couple of minutes there. Yeah, those statistics obviously did end up really even in that second half, and it was 4 tries to the Gold Coast Titans, all after half-time, through Jojo Fafita, Fayamani, Howe and Curtis Morin, particularly 2 of those in the last 8 minutes of the game, and 3 of the tries in the last 12 minutes of the game as well. So, wet sail for the Gold Coast, but as you say, the Warriors probably just putting the queue in the back, in the rack. Let's get Tino Fasuamala-Awi with the host broadcaster.
Obviously, when you give so much ball over to a good opposition like the Wires, you get a bit of fatigue. But I thought we really held our own there. Even coming out in the second half, we really defended well and got us back into it. And just a few costly errors for myself that let the team down tonight. But even then, the boys still had my back, and they still worked really hard to get that lead back down, I guess. But we'll keep working hard and working on the little things.
Yeah, you're right. That second half comeback was really on then. What happened there?
I think we just knew that we missed the jump. We knew we were still in it. We still believed in ourselves. It was just about completing sets, playing our football, and although we did, we just left it too late.
Good luck for next week.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tino Fasuamala-Awi there with the host broadcaster. Looks like Tanner Boyd is talking to the Australian broadcasters, but we don't have access to that audio. Hopefully the New Zealand host broadcaster can get some Warriors reaction. But Matthew, I believe that you are ready to fill us in on our ABC Player of the Year points this afternoon.
Yeah, well, this will be like that try that the Gold Coast scored the second half. I had to do it quickly. I had to bat it over my head. Jackson Ford gets my 3 points. Wow. I don't want to be boring, but when you got a tough game like that and the player makes 46 tackles, carries the ball for 226 metres, that's a fair contribution for a middle forward, and none of that was inane. Every carry he has impact. His tackle, he very rarely loses any.
Let's get our 2 and 1 after James Fisher-Harris.
We just bring the intensity. I felt like our boys are running pretty solid, and our defense was really good in the first 20. But just laid the platform, but at the same time it wasn't easy. Had a few 6 agains, had the D up our line a bit. A lot of resilience from our boys early on. I just wish we could do that in the back end of the game.
Lofi Khan Pereira was so exciting on the wing. The fans are really getting behind him. How good is it having him kind of joining the squad now?
Yeah, really stoked. Obviously, he's really talented, but he's fit in our system, and he's been working hard through Cup, and he's just playing out unreal for us right now.
Well, good luck for next week.
Thank you. Cheers.
James Fisher-Harris with the host broadcaster. Matthew, we've heard that Jackson Ford is our ABC Player of the Year, so he moves to 13, 2 points behind Nathan Cleary in that particular race. Who gets our 2 and 1?
My Ulch man, Leka Halasima gets my 2 points. I just feel like it wasn't, he's 101 metres and 21 tackles, but wow, he just really requires a lot of attention. I thought he had a lot of impact, and I kind of was questioning Tino Fa'asuamaleaui before the game and, his impact, but I thought he really showed up as a skipper today. 37 tackles, 106 metres. Again, doesn't describe the impact that he had for his team, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, kia ora team, kia ora Go Media Stadium.
And
tonight everyone played.
yeah, you gave you one, didn't you? Did I just
3
have
to
a
Jackson
stroke?
Ford, Halasima 2 and Tino 1.
Tino 1, yes, of course. Sorry, I just had a bit of a stroke there. This is the Zay Wallace Shield as well that these two sides play for, which is a lovely touch as well. So the Gold Coast Titans will miss out on that one on this occasion. The Warriors winning 28 points to 20. The Warriors take their home game to Wellington next week to take on the Dolphins, and the Gold Coast have a bye. So the Warriors, they're sitting pretty, aren't they, at the moment, Kiana? Even though, as you say, in that second half wasn't as good as it could have been. They could be closing out a little better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that they were really dominant in that first half, and I was really impressed by their effort areas. I think they were big on their kick chase. Their line speed was unreal. When they had the momentum behind them, they were all over the Titans, but a little bit disappointing with their second half and, the way that the Titans almost came back and took the game from them.
Yeah, that's really sums it up perfectly for mine, is that, and you know where their focus will be this week? Not on what they did well, but what they need to improve, which is sometimes a great excuse for a coach, right? You kind of take that as a bonus, is that, well, you did all this good stuff, but we actually gave opportunities to the other team. They didn't really take them off us, and I've got no doubt that's where their focus will be this week, because if they give the Dolphins opportunities, we saw last night that they can definitely exploit a team if you want to show some vulnerability.
They're outside backs as well, yeah. I know it's a little bit off topic, but it's a bit like the West Tigers last week. They really put the cue in the rack against Newcastle, and it'll be interesting to see how Benji has got them bounce back tonight against Brisbane. That is the third game of ABC Sports NRL Saturday. The second, of course, is out at Stadium Australia between the Dragons and South Sydney. We'll head there in just a few moments. Quickly in around the grounds, Hawthorn 45 leading Port Adelaide 19 in the second quarter of the AFL. Full-time Queensland Cup, Sunshine Coast has beaten Northern Pride. Second half, Ipswich 18 leading PNG Hunters 16. 4-all Brisbane Tigers win at Manly. And second half in the A-League men, Wellington and Western Sydney locked at 1-all. 0467 920 222. Thank you to Paul in Newcastle saying Clinton Schifosky called it last year the Titans king of the consolation try. Thank you for that, Paul. Hi guys, loving the call. Go the Titans. Brian and Kylie burning off at Boat Harbour. That sounds like a great afternoon as well. And correct, National Lampoon's Vacation Chevy Chase. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mitch, for your text message. Thank you for everybody's text messages this afternoon. The Warriors are defeating the Titans 28 points to 20. Alofiana Khan Pereira with a double. Chanel Harris-Tavita, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak and Erin Clark with the tries. Tanner Boyd finished with 4 from 6. And for the Titans, Jojo Fafita, Telly Faimani, Arama Howe, Curtis Moran, all with the tries. Jaden Campbell with 2 from 4. Thank you, Matthew.
Always a pleasure, Glenn. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Kiana.
Thank you, boys. Good to see you both.
Yes, and don't go anywhere because there's plenty more footy starting right now at Stadium Australia.
Okay, thank you very much, Glenn Lauder. Good afternoon, everyone from Stadium Australia. I'm Andrew Moore with Luke Lewis and Michael Carianis, and we are here for this round 7 clash between South Sydney and St George Illawarra. Hot on the heels of the Warriors' 28-20 home win over the Gold Coast Titans. The team news for South Sydney front rower Keon Kolomatangi, who will be with the Dragons next year. He goes back to the bench. Sean Kepi will start in jersey 16. Lachlan Hubner will go from the second row to the bench, and Bronson Garlick will start in the back row in jersey number 15. Although he's a dummy half, so whether that means Brandon Smith will move, we'll wait and see. So they're the only two changes for them. For St George Illawarra, winger Christian Tuipulotu is out injured, replaced by David Farley in jersey number 20. Hooker Damien Cook to the bench, and Jacob Little will start in jersey number 14. Hamish Stewart, the lock, to the bench. Josh Kerr to start in jersey number 17. The referee for this game will be Zbigniew Chiklas-Radamski with Ashley Klein in the bunker. Two-time premiership winner Luke Lewis is here. Hello again, Louis.
Hello, beautiful.
Well, Did not have that on the bingo card. Looking forward to this one. It's A, South Sydney has been great to watch, and B, does the chaos continue or settle for St George Illawarra?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too, Andrew, to be fair. I really like South Sydney, the way they've been playing. Obviously no Jai Gray, it's a big loss, but they've got Matt Duffy coming in. I've seen the way he's been playing in the grades below. He's been killing it. So that's a very interesting little competition out there, come up against his old side. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. For me, the Dragons been under the pump, and Shane Flanagan's absolutely under the pump. They've got a few injuries, but at the end of the day, they've got to find a way to win, and they've got to find a way to put a smile back on their fans' faces, because they are absolutely been, down in the dumps, to say the least. So I hope tonight they come out and they put in effort. Everyone was talking about effort. This is the part where I was saying before, it's about putting effort in the small places tonight. It's the kick chases, it's running hard, it's playing a really good, quick, clean play of the balls, pushing up with your mate in support, working hard on your kick pressures, and taking their opportunities when they get them. So if they can do that,
you'll know early.
I think you can. I think you'll know in the first 10-15 minutes if the effort is there. But they've got to work for each other. At the moment, everyone wants to win, but they're all pulling in different directions. So the only way they're going to be able to get the win and play good football is they all get on the same page, they work for each other, and they play for 80 minutes. Now, they can do it because they're a side out there, they've got talent. You wouldn't be playing first grade if you couldn't, but they've got to work as a team to get the best result, and that's one thing they haven't done all year.
They're warming up to our left at the northern end of Stadium Australia, and South Sydney to our left at the southern end. The Daily and Sunday Telegraph's Michael Carianis has been busy typing and tapping out stories for the Sunday Telly tomorrow. How are you, Michael? Welcome back.
Yes, hello Andrew, hello Louis. Yeah, it's a big 80 minutes for the St George Illawarra Dragons. There's a board meeting on Tuesday, and you can, regardless of the result, the number one discussion point will be around the future of coach Shane Flanagan. Does he survive until Anzac Day next week, heading into a bye for the Dragons? But yeah, no doubt significant pressure on everyone inside that organisation at the moment.
Yeah, to me, again, Shane Flanagan knows how to coach. He's won a premiership for Luke Lewis of the Sharkies, but the most egregious thing for me is the recruitment that they've done, and that seems to be getting more and more attention.
Oh, it's plain and simple, Andrew. They got the top end recruitment wrong.
Yeah.
And you can't recover when your highest paid players aren't living up not only near their price tag, anything like their price tag, and they've sort of been lucky in a way that their young players are probably playing above their weight a little bit, because things could get even uglier for them. But unless they can try and get Valentine Holmes involved, Daniel Atkinson to that form that the Dragons identified him to be their long-term half, they've made a change now with Jacob Little starting the game. So there's these issues that have been there, and I'm just not sure they've got the talent to overcome them.
Well, Daniel Atkinson isn't a halfback for starters, so they've moved into 5'8", obviously, with Flanagan back. But Acko needs to go there tonight and just think run. Every time he gets the ball, he needs to run. And if he does that, the pass will eventually open up, and it'll put their players in better positions. His best attribute in this game is to run and play off the cuff. But at the moment, he hasn't been doing that. He's just been setting up on an edge and kicking into corners. That's not Daniel Atkinson.
But is that something they've had to work out at training? Like that can't just be up to the individual.
No, not really. I think when they bought him, the reason why they bought him, they thought he was going to such a good buy, is because that's how he played.
Right.
And that's what he was doing at the Sharks, and he was playing great football. And they bring him over, and then they try and control his game. Say, no, I want you to execute game plans, call out the game plans, set up the field, and just kick into a corner. That's not him. Daniel Atkinson is a runner, and he's a dangerous runner of the ball, and when he gets it right, he causes a lot of drama to the defensive line. I haven't seen him do that once for the Dragons, because he's been too caught up in, well, now I have to organise a team, and that's not his role.
We are going to speak with an organiser very shortly in Manly-Ringa's halfback recruit Jamal Fogarty here on NRL Saturday. I've given up on the season. I just hope everybody has a nice day. Well, we hope you have a nice day too. Afternoon to the beautiful Maury. We're not going to live that down for a while, Louis. Louis and MC, looking forward to the South Dragons match. I know it's about the wrong game, but following on from PC's early early injury update, do you have any update on Falongo after his ankle injury in HIA last night? That's from Kate. He looked in a world of hurt, and thank you for your text, Kate, early in the game with that ankle injury, and then left the field not to return after being hit high by Hudson Young late. But it was one of those, when he ran, MC, he looked like dynamite. When he walked, he looked like he was about to fall over.
Yeah.
Have we had any news?
No update on that one.
All right. When we do, Kate, we'll certainly let you know. Strikes it, likes it, kicks a goal with the beautiful Mr. Moore. What have you done, Louis?
I just give him the nickname.
You haven't. It's not a nickname.
That's his nickname, everyone.
It's never been a
From
nickname.
here on in, just write in Beautiful Moore.
No.
Well, it could be worse.
I understand it could be worse, but it's like calling a redhead Bluey. Calling me beautiful.
Why?
Because I've got a head made for this industry.
Yeah, good-looking chap.
Oh, you're beautiful, Andy.
All right, yeah. This is getting to some weird, really weird areas.
We've still got another whole hour to go.
Do we? What do you mean? For what?
A couple of hours with weirdness.
Oh, the game starts in, 23 minutes? And we're off at 7:30. So, yeah, a bit more than 2 hours. But I don't think you can get much weirder than this. Also on the text, g'day, Andrew Moore, Mitch from Canberra. Hello, Mitch. Good to speak to you. Guys, love the call. Go the Titans early. Yeah, they came back, but beaten in the end, 28 points to 20. And what was that quote that a listener mentioned from Clinton Schifosky from a year ago, the kings of the consolation tries, the Gold Coast? They were down 28 points to 4. And, Louis, you get the feeling the Warriors, even though they let it slide in that last 15 minutes, they seem to be a bit back on track now the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's weird with the Warriors. They had their players come back and they looked a little bit out of sorts when they had those couple of losses, and obviously now they've gone back to where they were at the start of the year and they're playing some good footy, but they got off to a good lead. They knew they had the game in the bag. They took their foot off the accelerator a little bit there, and obviously let the Gold Coast Titans back in the game a little bit. It didn't ever seem in doubt, but yeah, they're back to where I expect them to be, winning games, playing strong and hard to beat.
All right, also on the text line, 0467 920 222. Luke in Wollongong, does Melbourne losing 5 in a row take the pressure off the Dragons and Flanagan?
No.
Okay, that was vehement. That was you two in sync like I've never heard before. I'll ask you again. Does that take pressure off the Dragons?
No.
Okay. That time Louis got hit in front of you, Michael. You slowed down a little bit. You're running out of puff.
No.
Are you going to be this tragic when the game's on?
We are talking about rugby league too, Michael. It's not AFL.
Yeah, I'm sweet. No, it's totally different. Like, the Dragons will be under the pump.
No matter what.
Yeah. And Melbourne, well, there's no pressure on Melbourne.
Just talking about the Dragons, what is the longest losing streak at the start of the season?
I think the Steelers lost. Oh, I can't remember.
You're going to find out. Go to your Google machine. Also on the text line, Maury, Louis and MC can't seriously think the Dragons can win right now. I wouldn't bet on them to get out of a wet paper bag, says Heyman in Queensland. Yeah, it's been a bit like that, unfortunately, for St George Illawarra. In the New South Wales Cup here, it was a win for South Sydney over St George Illawarra 28-22. Playing service looks magnificent. Very aesthetically pleasing, isn't it, Michael?
Yep. It is. Very nice. Can you kick him out? He's actually driving me insane.
Get out.
He's got no enthusiasm. He's actually draining all my energy out.
I'll let him stay here for Jamal Fogarty interview because he's waiting on the line, but then downstairs and you're not coming back.
Okay.
Wow. Around the grounds in the Queensland Cup second half, PNG Hunters and Ipswich locked at 24 all. Half-time, 4 all between the Brisbane Tigers and Wynnum Manly. Townsville and Central Queensland Capras just getting underway. There is no score. In the AFL second quarter, Hawthorn 45 leading Port Adelaide 38. A-League men full-time, Wellington at home, a 2-1 winner over the Western Sydney Wanderers. And in the first quarter of the netball, it is New South Wales Swifts away, leading Queensland Firebirds 4-3. Coming up next, we're going to catch up with Manly's halfback.
Are there any winners in the cost of living crisis? What's causing the algal bloom?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
Rugby League is on your radio.
NRL Saturday on ABC Sport.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Well, Manly Warringah is becoming an incredible story, having been well beaten for their opening 3 games at Brookvale Oval. The coach, Anthony Seibold, was fired, and Kieran Foran, who had only just started his coaching experience as an assistant to Anthony Seibold, was given the reins. And all the Seagulls have done since is win. 3 on the trot, including a commanding win over North Queensland, 38-6 back on Thursday night. So we thought we should check in with the Manly camp. And in the ABC Player of the Year points on Thursday night, 3 went to their new halfback, Jamal Fogarty, and he joined us online for the first time, I think, as a Seagull. Jamal, how you doing?
Good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Excellent. We appreciate your time as ever. Things are incredibly different now to they were a few weeks ago. And I know you had some very interesting things to say when the coaching change happened, and you're standing up for Anthony Seibold a bit. But, boy, things have changed dramatically on field.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't the ideal start for myself at the new club, but even us as a club in general to go 0-3 and for all them to be home games is very disappointing, right? So the last couple of weeks, Foz has obviously taken over. He's just changed the focus on a couple areas that he has, you know, for us to be non-negotiable with. So, and they're just the effort areas of the game, right? And sometimes if you just focus on those things, all those little things, they build up to give you a big result. So Foz is just doing a great job, making us compete really hard at training and just enjoying what Foz is about, because he's someone that's played our game. He understands what it takes to win and what it takes to get through a week. And when you got someone like that as a head coach, you know, you'll do everything you can to get a win for him.
Such a long season. You've been there and done it for so many years now at Gold Coast and Canberra, Jamal. But was there a time, you know, you flogged the Dolphins, you scraped past the Dragons in a bit of a scrappy game in Wollongong, and then you were far too good for the Cowboys in Townsville. So things have gone beautifully. Was there a time either at training or on the field where you thought, okay, this is the team I've joined. We're starting to click?
Yeah, well, there was probably moments in the first 3 games that I thought, you know, we got a bit of resilience, bit of grit amongst the team, but it just wasn't in long enough periods. Like, I felt as though round 1 when we played the Raiders, they're a good team with a good forward pack, and we got out to a handy lead early, and then we let it go, and then we're able to fight back. So there was little moments throughout those first 3 games, and then I think just the Dolphins game into the Dragons, we just did that for longer periods of time, and we only needed 1 win, because football, you know, if you're winning, it's a habit, and then you just find them ways to win, and then when you lose, then it's a habit as well. So we kind of flipped those habits, and just the 1 win gave the team confidence, because we know football's fun, right? And that's the main reason we play.
Well, Jamal, you've been amazing to watch. Even last year you were outstanding. I think now, the last couple of weeks, you've been up in the 3-2-1s pretty much every week. But the difference with Kieran Foran as a coach, is it the way that he comes to training, and do you think it helps because he played the game last year and being so recent and understanding the way the game's played, that helps with you guys, the way that I suppose he gets his messages across to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think the best part about Foz is how he speaks. You know, his very first speech to the team when he did take over, it was early in the week, and I was ready to play football then, sitting in the video room. He's just got this presence about him, the way he speaks. He doesn't try to overcomplicate things, and he challenges you in areas that he knows that you can deliver in. But then also, he's got Manly DNA in him. He's been at the club through good times and bad times, so he knows what it takes. And when you got someone like that, that's, like you said, been in the game, you're just going to do everything you can. And it's a fresh start as well for us. Obviously, there's a lot of external pressure with Siebes at the start from the media. So since Siebes has left and Foz has taken over, there hasn't really been much chat about how should we go over the last couple of weeks. And I think it's just been mentally refreshing for the whole group.
Yeah, I could imagine. The other thing is too, how does it feel, I suppose, being coached by someone that you played against last year? Is that a bit weird? Because I never experienced anything like that. And I thought, last year you probably been doing video on how to target Kieran Foran's, flaws in the game. So has that been weird?
Yeah, it has been, mate. We've actually watched a couple video clips throughout the week on the teams that we've played, and has been clips from the Titans up against that team, and Foz has been in the picture for a couple of days. So I've had a couple of moments in the video room where I was like, oh, that's weird. Like Foz is in these clips that he's presenting to our team now as the head coach. So yeah, it has been a little bit different, little change up, which is very different to having someone that hasn't played the game as a coach with Steve. So a little bit different there.
What about the banner? Is the banner real there? We've obviously, because he's still so fresh and he's like a player. And, when the boys come in, you always, you take the mickey out a little bit, a bit of fun. You got that sort of going there with Foreign at the coaching realm there?
Yeah, I've probably got to build a better relationship with Foz at the minute. I'm not too sure if I can get into him and be cheeky. Like, obviously, it took me a little while with Stick to be able to rip into him when I'm in a good mood, but then also he would dish it back. Whereas I think Foz is just too nice of a person. He's not going to dish you out a whole lot. So I might have to keep probing a little bit to see what I can find, or play some pranks in his little office upstairs or something.
You mentioned the couple of changes that he made compared to where you guys were at under Anthony Seb, but what are one or two subtle changes that Foz sort of wanted you guys to focus on?
Yeah, he just wanted us to be physical and compete. He said, we got a good side here. We know what we got. If you're being physical and going after the contest with your defence, but then also when you've got the ball, if you're running to be genuine to try and find a line break, that's going to do our team wonders. And it was just more of a defensive focus about just being connected. And if we can do those things for longer periods of time, we're going to win more games than we're going to lose. So it's only been a very simple focus, and it probably sounds stupid to the people that watch football. They're like, what do you mean by being physical when you defend and run? That's the whole part of the game. But it's about being able to do that in longer periods of time and being able to concentrate and just getting off to a fast start. Obviously, the last couple of weeks we've been able to start the games pretty well physically, and then that's set us up for a good platform throughout the rest of the games.
Obviously, terrible news regarding Tom Trbojevic and his hamstring, but you guys seem to regroup pretty well. What was that feeling like when he went off? And I know how vocal he is on the field. Does that mean someone like you needs to step up in that case?
Yeah, well, when he actually got tackled, I just thought he got like a mad cork in his quad because it was pretty heavy contact, and obviously Tom's a big body and he demands that. So my first thought was, he's just got a mad little cork in his quad. He'll be all right. And then he got up, and I kind of seen him drag his foot across the grass, and I was like, oh, no, he's done his hemi, which is very unfortunate because he's someone that's so diligent. He works on his body every single day. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable, and obviously it's very sad news for Tommy. But we got senior players in the team like me, Brooksy, Jakey Trbojevic, Hamale and Siwa that can, we're the senior leaders of the team, and we just got to put the team first and make sure we're doing all those little things. And then we got a pretty handy replacement. When you lose someone like Turbo, he's irreplaceable, but the next best in our team is obviously Tolu, and Tolu can come up with some special plays in games, and he did that on the weekend. He usually is an attacking weapon, but on the weekend, I think the best part of his game was all of his defensive efforts. He saved a couple of tries, and it's a lot different going from sitting out in the centres, kind of cruising to all the hard work that you have to do as a fullback. Like when teams are on your try line, you're going sideline to sideline, and with Tolu, he's an explosive power athlete. He's not someone that's built for endurance, but I thought he was our best player the other night.
Yeah, he's done some incredible things so far this year. And the first test without Turbo comes next Sunday. The game will be calling at Brookie when you play Parramatta, a big rivalry matchup. But I'd imagine everyone's going to see the importance of this, stamping your authority back at Brookvale Oval.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've already spoken about, mate. Like I said, we've had 3 games at home, been very disappointed with 3 losses to start the year. That's not what any team wants. We want to try and make it a fortress for the rest of the year, and our fans probably deserve a good performance. So we'll be doing everything we can this week, like we have been the last couple of weeks, to put the team first, to make sure that we're doing everything we can properly at training with video sessions, working on your body and whatever Foz wants to do game plan wise, so we can give our fans a good game of football and hopefully get our first win at home.
And we've called Canberra the last couple of weeks. We were in Perth last week, the 3 of us, and I was in Canberra last night, and they've had a couple of high-scoring, narrow, heart-wrenching victories. Have you been keeping much of an eye on your old team?
Yeah, I have been, mate. I obviously got heaps of close friends down there, especially Zach Hosking. I talk to him every single week, mate. So a little bit different. Obviously, sitting at the couch, cheering him on. And my missus gets up me all the time because a little fella, obviously born down there, and he's got a little Raiders jersey. So every time they play up, I put the Raiders jersey on him to watch Uncle Zach and a couple of the boys. And she's like, get that crap off. So, but yeah, obviously, the things that the club down there done for me, obviously giving me the opportunity to come up here, and my game's obviously evolved under stick, so there's no sourness or bitterness towards the club.